section. For next 2 weeks, they can go deep dive into.
Okay.
So we just reorganize the content.
Okay, no, sure. So, Sharad and Sunil, can you hear us?
Hello, Sharad.
Yeah, hi Sharad, Ashok here.
Hello, Ashok.
Yeah,
good evening.
Good morning. So, I think Sunil Pathak was the first to join. Sunil Pathak, can you hear me?
Okay.
It's Ashok here. I think he's facing some issue. So, Sunil, I'm making you the presenter. So, you can start the discussion likewise. So, let me make you presenter. Hi, Sharad, can you call Sunil Pathak if he's facing any problem?
Yeah, he just replied on the chat that.
Yeah, he's joining my phone.
Okay, okay. So, Sunil, I can see the error, the audio pin that is hash 215 hash is not entered. So, can you put that pin there? I'm just typing it here, okay?
Hello.
Yeah, hi Sunil.
Yeah, Sunil.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. So,
okay. Thanks a lot. Now I'm with computer. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I don't know why my phone is not working or some other issues.
no, sure. So, one more person is to join, I think.
Vinay.
Vinay, yeah.
Yeah, he will be joining in 2 minutes.
So, you can, Sunil Pandey, you can start the discussion and take it along, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, Ashok.
Yeah, Sunil, before you start, we just had some feedback for yesterday training. So what we felt that the yesterday training was very high level training. We already know about the blockchain and other things, and we already know it's fundamental. So basically now, I think, as you know, that some of these people are hardcore coder, right? We wanted to go deep and understand more about that. Yesterday training was more on the high level, like some stories and other thing, right? It will not help us, right? If you think from the career perspective, it's good to know about those stories, but how it will help us to take this training and put it into our career or anything, I was not able to relate it. I'm not sure about the Sunil Pathak. Do you have any feedback on this?
Yes, basically, these are three sessions, but still I am at the same position where I understand the blockchain, but how to use that, how to code, where to use. There are many questions which I have still with me. So agree, knowing Bitcoin, that's good, but no one is going to listen me. As for example, if I can be a miner, not in the Bitcoin, but there are many alternate coins where I can be miner. That will be good for me. At least I can say I'm a miner.
Correct.
So mining or understanding the Bitcoin or Merkle tree, these are good. But how to use, where to start writing the code, how to design the app, these are the things which I'm here to learn basically. So that thing I've not got in last three sessions basically.
So if you see the way the sessions were planned, the initial two
Yeah,
weeks were more of theory. Then we get
yeah,
into say, installation and in a bit of coding. Okay. But I
okay,
sense that from the feedback yesterday. So
okay.
today's session was supposed to be theory, but it is not that way anymore. It is
Oh, that's
already
great.
so before I'm not sure whether you were listening to us or not, but before we started this discussion, I was telling Ashok the same thing that we
Okay,
have tweaked the session. Uh, so today we will be seeing how do you install the Bitcoin platform on a Ubuntu platform on Google
okay,
Cloud, and how you can interact it, with the platform using console. How you can run a miner. So
oh,
this part we'll see
okay,
today. In the next session, we will be installing Ethereum. Okay, and we will be creating an application on Ethereum.
okay,
In the later session, we will be installing multi-chain, which is another platform. With multi-chain, we'll be seeing a couple of applications installed and how you use those applications. So the session, I mean, you guys being from development background, it was easy for you to grasp on the concepts early, and that is why you are feeling a bit bored now that it is going on theoretical part. But the session is designed for everyone. So people who are not coming from technical background, for them, it is.
agree.
I'm getting a lot of noise.
Okay.
Okay, it's better now. So, I mean, whatever this thing that we'll be covering today was supposed to be
Me
day
too.
day 1, week 3, but now we'll be covering it today itself, where I'll show you how you install the Bitcoin platform on a Ubuntu. You can do it locally if you have a Ubuntu installation, or you could do it on Google Cloud. You install a miner,
Yeah.
you issue some basic commands to the platform and get response from it. So that part we'll see today. Now, if you have
Okay,
very
that's good.
specific
Yeah.
feedback, yeah, if you have very specific feedback, I would suggest you write it. I mean, you write it jointly in an
Okay.
email and send to Ashok and me, and we can see what we can do about it. Because this is an introductory course. This is not a specifically designed programming course for any of the language, because it is not possible to do it. If I have to take a Solidity class, it is itself a subject in itself. So again, I'm getting a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
We understand, Sunil, that it's a introductory course. But now, given the audience we are left, earlier it was a broader audience. Now the audience
Yeah.
we are left, it's basically we are probably interested to go more deep and keep our hand
That is
dirty.
why I've tweaked the content for
Yeah.
today,
Yeah. So
and
if
we
you
will
can
keep
tweak
it
it little,
focused. Yeah.
yeah,
And we will
that
keep it
way it will be good.
focused on the tech side for the next
Correct.
week completely. Okay.
Right.
So you get a flavor of it. But obviously,
Yes, sir.
this cannot be a full-fledged development-led course, because it is not designed to be that way. If we were interested in a sole development course, we could pick one particular blockchain and then deep dive into it. Here we are learning the Bitcoin blockchain, Ethereum, multi-chain. So in 5 weeks and just 2.5 hours, it is not possible to deep dive into even one of it. So we will touch them. I will show you applications. I will show you how you interact with the platform. I will give you resources where you can. So for example, if you are a PHP developer, right? I will show you how you interact using curl, and then coding a PHP application. Because you are a PHP developer, you know how to do it. So I will give you the resources, and then you can write your own applications. So that that expectation will be met, and I will make sure that you get value out of it. So I will make sure that is done.
Yeah, okay, I think that's fine.
Okay. So for the first 5-10 slides, again, it is a bit of theory. It is not really important from a blockchain understanding perspective, from coin understanding perspective, but because it is listed in the syllabus, I will quickly go through it. After slide 8, this is where we start installation uh, of a Ubuntu on a Google
Sure.
Cloud platform. Anyone
Today,
of you who has worked previously on Google Cloud or AWS?
No, I have not. Sunil Pandey or Vinay?
Sorry. What was the question?
So the question is, any of you guys have experience working on Google Cloud or Amazon AWS or any cloud platforms?
yes, I
I
have worked.
I have some understanding on Google GCP,
Okay.
but I have done it some time back. So cloud platform changes very quickly, so I don't have a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
deep
So
understanding. Yeah.
not a problem. So I will show you how you can create an account on Google Cloud, how you create an virtual instance, then how you get that machine running, how you get an SSH to get the applications installed. So we will install the Bitcoin blockchain platform, and then from the bash terminal itself, we will issue some commands so that we get replies back from the Bitcoin blockchain platform. So that we will try to cover today. After that, uh, we'll see a bit of the current slides. If you see, so what are the mining hardwares available, how it works, what are the advantages, disadvantages, and then how, if you were to get into mining, what could be the next course of action for you. So we will see that.
Okay, sounds good.
So yeah, this was not supposed to be today, but because yesterday I sensed that you guys were feeling a bit fatigued by theory, so I thought it might be good to get some content from week 3 to week 2, so it remains interesting for you.
Yeah, thanks for thinking that.
Okay.
I was really, that's the right thought, I would say.
Yeah, no problem. So just a second. Okay. This was in module 7. So colored coins, basically, so Bitcoin initially, Bitcoin initially is just for value transfer, right? There were other aspects that were explored, and that is when colored coins came in. So colored coin is basically, it is protocol. It is considered to be the next version of Bitcoin, and they can be used to represent real world assets. So like property, ownership of cars, real estate, etc. So these coins serve as a mechanism of storing value of these things onto the blockchain platform. So there are not many cryptocurrencies that are termed as colored coins, and most common use of colored coins is like, if you guys have heard of ICOs. So when companies they want to raise initial funding, they will decide that we have 10,000 or 10 million, whatever number of initial coins to offer. We are serving this particular business case. This is the expected outcome of this. This is the time that will take. Here are my 5 developers who are champions in their arena, and they will be coding it. So come and buy my coins. Okay, by selling the coins, they are raising money for their startup. So that is an interesting use case in that world. So colored coins, basically, when you participate in an ICO, the coins that you get, those are called as colored coins. Now, again, it is the same thing. I will not go much into it. They are used to issue and transfer any asset on the Bitcoin blockchain. They could be used to represent anything. So it could be stocks, bonds, smart properties, securities. Basically, what it is, the coin, okay, the block of that coin will have a contract coded into it, which will store these values. Other than that, it is just like any other normal coin stored on the same Bitcoin blockchain, and you in the same way. Advantages: the main advantage of colored coin is that it lives on the Bitcoin blockchain. So therefore, all the security aspects, all the storage aspects that belongs to the Bitcoin blockchain is readily available to these color coins. So basically, if you put these assets onto the blockchain, it can be tracked anywhere. Now, interesting cases that you could that you could come up with is in healthcare. You want to have a record of a particular patient. So you put that as an asset on the blockchain. It is available there for always. You've got assets. Someone is put on hold, or
It seems Sunil has dialed twice. Sunil Pathak.
Yeah, basically
Yeah, hear the echo.
I'm getting.
Sunil
So I'm
Pathak,
trying.
are you?
Hello.
Sunil, you have dialed twice because we are hearing echo, I think. Okay, I think now it seems to be fine. Okay. Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you,
yes.
Sunil. Can you go on mute if you're not talking? Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay. So those are colored coins. Altcoins are basically any other coin that is other coin than Bitcoin is termed as altcoin. So you have a lot of other coins like Litecoin, Monero, Dogecoin, uh, Vanchain, etc., etc. So all these coins that are alternative to Bitcoin are termed as altcoins. Now, difference could be, they employ a different method of proof of work or a different method of proof of stake. Some employ a combination of them. Some use easier, mining algorithms. So that are the differences. Other than that, the concept remains same. The type of implementation remains same. So whatever we saw for a Bitcoin blockchain or for a normal blockchain, the concepts remain same for altcoins also. It is just that they would have different level of privacy. So some coins claim they are more secure, more private than Bitcoin. Some coins are for regular usage, so they do not have that much of privacy or other restrictions, etc. So depending on the type of implementation, you can read the white paper for that specific coin and see whether it makes sense to you and for implementation. Otherwise, the underlying concept for it remains same for all of the coins. Okay. This is a website wherein you can go and check all of the list. I've taken screenshot from it. So if you see, there are a lot of coins and there's a category also. So for example, Scenario, Ad Shares, Ad Token, Ad Join, these are all related to AdWords. So basically the business case of these companies would be related to advertisements, and they are issuing coins for that, right? Similarly for apps, so these companies would be developing apps. I'll just open the website and show. So there are a lot of them related to finance, and some of them you might have seen also. So if I scroll down, so if you see, there's a lot on crowdfunding also. So like you have Kickstarter or other crowdfunding websites. These sites help you raise money from the public for your specific, initiative in the same way. But instead of, receiving US dollars, because all of that has got limitations to it, you cannot get more than $2,000, for example, in an single investment, etc. You have to report for tax purposes if you are receiving funding in excess of XYZ amount. So these sites help you raise in terms of coins. Similarly, you have have a lot for you've got decentralized computing. Yeah, you have got a lot on finance. So these coins, their use cases would be based on financial use cases. So some of them would be money transfer, some of them could be peer-to-peer lending. So peer-to-peer lending is also a big use case in the blockchain world. You've got blockchains which help you trade power. So for example, you've got a large solar panel above your house, you are generating excess electricity. You could sell your excess electricity to someone else using power chain. So there's a company called Power Chain which employs a blockchain which helps you do that. Then you've got a lot of startups offering coins for gambling, etc. So you can go through the list later. I've just put it for reference and I've provided the link also. Okay, I will straight away start with installation. So for those who are new to this,
Sunil,
You are
Sunil
recording
Pandey,
this, right?
yeah.
Yeah, one comment. I think Sunil Pathak was saying that AWS is free for 1 year. So instead of Google, can we
Google
do
is
AWS?
also, so if you see on the right hand side, they're giving a $300 credit and it is free for 12 months.
Oh, okay.
The
Okay,
same thing.
that's fine.
Yeah. So basically, if you go to this or on the Google website itself, you search for Google Cloud Platform, it will give you this particular page. Okay. So on opening this page, you will be able to see that you've got $300 free credit for the next 12 months. Okay. So you select the country. Okay. I am getting a lot of noise. Can others go on mute, please?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
You are
Yeah.
recording
So
this, right?
Ashok, so anyways, I'll be sharing this PPT with you. It is with the entire
Yeah,
screenshots.
we are recording it and you will get it on Monday on the same page as
Okay.
Sridhar posted there.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyways, this is step-by-step screenshot. So even with the PDF or the PPT you receive, you should be
Yeah,
able
yeah.
to do it.
So
Yeah.
so Sunil, you keep posting the link in the chat as well. If you want them to
Okay.
follow, yeah, yeah.
No, I have it on the PPT. I purposely put it on the PPT. So
Okay,
when they receive it, they will have all the links.
sure.
There are certain other links also which I'll be sharing in the week, so they can revise some of the content and look at the codes written by others. So
Yeah,
I will share that.
sure.
Okay. So you click on agree and continue. It will give you another page. You fill in your personal details and okay, just see. Don't use my card for any other purpose. So you have to provide a credit card information, and it is just for verification. They will not charge your card even after the duration has expired, right? It will not auto renew. So it you will get an email on your Google account saying that your account has been disabled because it is due for renewal. Only when you agree to renew it, your card will be charged. Otherwise your card is not charged. So you put a valid card there, click on continue, and then they will send in confirmation or verification email to your account. Okay, so your account is created at this page, but the email will read that your account is disabled for security purposes, etc. Click on this particular link. So when you click on that link, it will again open a page. Okay, and it will ask you to enter your mobile number, etc. You will have to upload two things, and this billing account ID that you see here, this billing account ID will come to you in the email that Google sends you. Okay, so you copy that, paste it here. Then you upload a government issued ID, and then the same credit card that number that you entered. So you hide the CVV, you hide the name details, etc. They just want to see the last four digits. So click a photo of your card, just the last four digits available, and upload it. uh, After you do that, you will get an email saying we require 24 hours to process, etc., but it doesn't take that time. So I created this account today morning, and within the next 15-20 minutes I got an email saying that your account has been verified and you are good to use it. So that is the max time that they claim it will take, but it doesn't take that much time. It happens fairly quickly. So yeah, like I was saying, you hide all the information either using a paper, your finger, etc. Just the last 4 digits have to be visible. So you click on submit. When you click on submit, it will say give you a message saying that thanks for submitting verification information. Will be notified by email, etc. etc. Right. Once your account is verified, okay, you get the other email from Google saying the verification is done. You click on that, it will take you to the dashboard of the Google Cloud. Okay, so you click on the dashboard. Okay, and on the left hand side you've got a menu bar. When you click on menu, you will get a lot of options. So what do you want to do there? On the right hand side, it is your profile information, notifications, and other stuff that you can do. The current highlighted part is select a project. So there you can create a new project. If you've got existing projects, you could start those projects. Okay, so we'll see uh, here. Okay, I'm not sure whether you're able to see it, so I will use the mouse pointer. So this area that I'm highlighting using the pointer now, I clicked on this. Okay, and I clicked on create a new project. Okay, now with this pointer it doesn't help me.
Hey, Sunil. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
I think
yeah.
your screen sharing is slow.
You're saying
Sometimes it's just stuck for me. Yeah.
no,
You
so
are on
it was not
right.
stuck. No, no, and I'm on the right page. It was not stuck. When I select the other this thing to
Oh,
highlight,
tabs you are
and
moving. Okay.
yeah, and I click on next, it doesn't happen. So I have to go back and select the earlier pointer. So that is why it was stuck there.
Okay. So
So
basically,
this,
doing all this, we want to get a Linux machine. Which one
correct.
you are preferring? Okay.
I will install a Ubuntu 16.0.
Okay.
You could do this on a Windows machine also, but I'm taking Linux example because that is what mostly you'll get in organizations. And the support
Okay.
out for open source is much more compared to Windows. So this being a new technology and not many readily available resources for help, it helps when you start with open source to get help from the community.
No, got it, got it. So basically, I was thinking, why not Docker? Anyway, so our intention is to get a Linux machine. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah. So you give any name for the project, okay, and click on create. It will give you this next screen where it is launching a new project for you. It will complete like in 2 or 3 seconds. Yeah, someone was saying something.
No, I was just thinking, can we? Oh, okay, it will take some time. Otherwise, I was thinking to doing the same with you. No problem, we'll do later.
You can do it. It will not take much time, but then coordination would be difficult because
Ah,
three
right,
of
right.
us.
Yeah, right, right.
Uh,
Right.
so maybe if you want, what we can do is I can quickly come at a logical point and then wait for you to do it quickly. But then we'll all have to wait.
No, no. Yeah, no problem.
I think we'll do it
And
later. So once we
yeah,
see it,
and anyways,
we'll
you
do it
will have
later.
the screenshots available to
Yeah,
you,
right. Yeah, no
so you
problem.
can do it in your free time.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. So considering after a few seconds this will be created. Okay. When you click on it, okay, this becomes a hyperlink. So when you click on it, this console becomes available to you. So you can see the project name that I had selected. That becomes the project name, project ID, project number. You have a lot of other default apps and options available to you. Uh, if you go on the billing, etc., you'll be able to see how much of the free credit you've been able to utilize for now. So since this is freshly created, you see estimated charges as 0 rupees. Uh, okay, so you have this available. Next is you have to include, start installing APIs that will help you support, with the blockchain. So first API that would be installing is Google Compute, right? So you click on enable APIs and services here. It will give you a search bar. You click search compute, so you will get this first one, compute engine API. Click on that, it will install. So click enable on this particular Compute Engine API. It will take a few seconds and it will install the API. Okay, it will say billing is required. So you say enable billing and go ahead. It will take it from the free credit that you have available for first. Okay, so here you can say it is saying enabling API. Once it is enabled, okay, it will also have its own dashboard where it will tell you how much traffic is there on this particular instance, etc. Right? So this was the duration when I was doing the installation, and this is when it started. So it started recording the API. I mean the usage, see traffic usage, right? Once you are done, you go back. So click on this particular menu again, go back and come down here in the compute engine. Okay, so when you click on compute engine, you have these many options available. So VM instance groups, instant templates, disk snapshots, images, etc. Right? So all of those options, I mean, you should explore, but for now we will focus on VM because we are trying to launch a virtual machine on which we will be uh, installing our Bitcoin blockchain. So you click on VM instances. It will ask you whether you want to create, whether you want to import,
Sunil,
or whether you want to
Sunil,
take a quick start. Yeah.
yeah, Sunil, I think
Yes.
we have lost. Okay, now it is coming up. Your screen share was lost.
Okay. Sorry.
So which screen you
Okay.
are right now?
Does it show VM instances?
Yes, now it is showing.
Okay.
So
I'll just go back
yeah,
and make sure that you got it.
yeah. So
So
please check the speed of your internet, because on the receiving end, if internet is bit slow, so loading of pages gets delayed. So so everybody is facing same issue.
No, I was able to see
Yeah,
everything.
because this is the transmit and whatever screen the Sunil is sharing, it is being transmitted. If at the receiving end the internet is slow, then the page loading can get delayed. So if you can check the
Okay,
internet
okay,
speed, that will help.
okay, that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sunil, go ahead. I think it's fine now.
no problem. So from now on, when I change the screen, I will let you know, so you guys can remain in sync.
No, you can go ahead. I think you don't have to check every time. Probably it was at my end. That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So you click on VM instances and you come on the next page. This is the VM instances page. Here you will get an option asking whether you want to create, whether you want to import, or whether you want to do a quick start. So import is basically when you've got an image saved already, you want to load from an image. Quick start is you've already got one machine and you want to copy the settings. But because this is a new account for us, we will click on create. Okay, so I'm now going to the next screen. So when I click on create, it gives me a form sort of thing to fill information for it. Okay, so I filled the name. Okay, then it asks you to enter a zone, so it allots you to the best available machine, etc. Right? So I've selected Asia. You could select one from the drop down which is near to you. Okay, and here if you see boot disk, right, so this gives you the option of which operating system you want to install. So the default was Debian. I clicked on change, and then you get a big list available. So if you see on the next page, you have a lot of operating systems available. I selected Ubuntu 16.04. You can select any of it. Only thing is there are certain commands which become deprecated in the new version, or certain commands which get added. So depending on the type of installation, some commands may not be available. That is why I selected Ubuntu. Okay. So you click on change, you select one of the operating system that you want. Okay, and then go to the come back to the same page. So it will show you that the new operating system selected is this one. 200 GB standard persistent disk selected. Okay. Uh, Leave rest of the stuff as is. Okay. Just a second. Yes. So it here, if you okay, just above that, if you see, it asks you for machine type also. So generally, I mean, by default, it gives you one CPU with 3.75 GB of memory. If you are really going to try setting up the blockchain and you want to download the entire data, so the instance that I have, I did not download the entire blockchain data on it. But if you really want to do it, then you might want to increase this to more cores and say 6 GB or 8 GB of memory. But the only catch is it will, I mean, if you see here, it is saying $36 per month, right? So you have approximately $300 free credit. So this might end somewhere in 9.5 months. If you change the machine type and increase the memory, this billing rate increases. So just be mindful of that you do not utilize all of it too soon. So if you want to download the entire Bitcoin data, increase this value. Okay, and once the Bitcoin, once the blockchain is downloaded, come back to this page again and downgrade this. So again, select one CPU and 3.75 GB memory, so that you have sufficient time to practice. Otherwise, you can always, use a different card, different email address, and begin again there. But for continuity's sake,
So
use the same.
yeah, so if you don't need to download the entire blockchain, do we need to increase both of these or just one of?
uh, if you let it remain the same, okay, it will take you too much time. If you increase it, it will be done quickly. So you increase the
No, no,
memory and increase, yeah, you need to increase both.
both, right?
Because
Okay.
yeah, because what happens is sometimes if you increase only the core CPUs, it will try to download too much stuff and the memory would not be able to handle it, and the machine crashes. So whatever is downloaded then is gone. So that is why you need to increase the memory also.
Okay.
Okay. So come down, click on create. It will give you a message saying creating in instance MCL BCT demo. So which whatever you have selected as the name, it will create an instance on that. Okay, so here you can see on the next, it will come on the next page where the circle will keep on going until that is started. So that should take you about a couple of minutes, after which this instance becomes available. Okay. So you will get a green tick saying the instance has become available. Now, if you see, there's an SSH that has become available, right? And this is your external IP. This is your internal IP. So SSH, anybody has experience working with SSH?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the normal SSH that, I mean, you would have used in your project that you can launch from here. Okay, but before that, we need to change certain settings in the firewall. So we will click on this particular machine. Okay, we will see the VM instance. It will open the VM instance details page. So if you scroll down a little below, okay, you'll be able to see network interfaces and default, right? So you click on this particular default. It will open all of this. Okay, here you need to add, just a second, you click on firewall rules again. Okay, so after firewall rules, it will open the firewall rules page, which looks something like this. Okay, I hope everyone is able to see the page. I am on VPC networks and firewall rules is highlighted.
Yes.
Okay, so you click on add a firewall rule, because by default, if you see, there are only ICMP, TCP 02655535 and UDP, these ports highlighted. But Bitcoin, the listener works on a specific port, and similarly the outgoing port also, right? So we need to allow that. Okay, so you click on add firewall rule. You enter a name for this rule, so it will be anything, default rule 1, whatever you want to put. Network is by default, it will be, I mean, you can't edit it. Priority also is by default 1000, you don't change it. You keep this direction of traffic and action on match the same. In select in the source IP range, okay, you can see it shows 0.0.0/0 or 192.68. So if you want to use it only for internal network, you put this value. But for test purposes, because we are going to connect with the main network, we enter 0.0.0.0/0. So this which you see you actually input it. Okay, so if you it's the same page, yeah, if you see here I've inputted that. Okay, and then these two specific ports we need to enable for the blockchain. So you enter TCP colon 8332 semicolon TCP colon 8333. These two ports we need to enable. So enter that and click on create. Okay, it will create a new firewall rule here. Okay, so you can see the new firewall rule has become available and these ports are allowed now with a higher priority. Now you come back to this, okay, and click on the SSH button. So when you click on SSH, this window loads up. Okay, I will show you. I have a live session running. So this is what the window looks like. Okay, now this is connected to the actual Bitcoin blockchain network. Okay, if I were to issue a command, say,
Sunil, one thing basically.
yeah.
So up to left window, we can see now this is the SSH we are doing to the new instance. But
Oh,
on the
okay,
right
sorry.
side,
Yeah, good.
directly connected.
No. So I missed that part. Sorry. Thanks for pointing out. So this is a normal SSH. Before I show you the Bitcoin things, you will have to install the Bitcoin code. Okay, so you'll have to do sudo get code. So I will show that also. I went a little too overboard. So this is normal SSH. Nothing is installed on the machine as of now. Okay. You go on the next and you input this command sudo add repository ppa bitcoin / bitcoin. So it will start downloading the Bitcoin platform basically, and the entire platform code base etc. to your local machine. So the software becomes available on your machine. Sudo is the code used to get it.
Sudo is to transfer the
It
permission,
will
right?
tell you, I mean, it will give you this one. Correct. So you give this permission to this one, okay, this
Yeah.
particular repository, and you will get this message, warning message sort of thing, whether you want to continue, right? So just press enter, and it will again give you this message that these things have been done. It is ended in okay. Then
So,
you have to update it. Yeah.
Sunil, so whatever you are executing now, this is getting executed on my GCP VM, right?
Correct.
What?
Yes.
Correct. So
Okay.
yes. So we
Okay.
launched the SSH from there, right? It is happening there.
Okay, fine. Sorry, just
Okay, so
wanted to
you
confirm.
correct, no problem. So you do update. It will install. It will update the library, so it will download all the archives from there and put it on the sudo machine, not the sudo machine, the GCP machine. This will take a couple of minutes to finish. You can do it on local machine also, but it takes up a lot of memory. I tried it
Sunil,
earlier on the
Hey, Sunil, but this sudo update and that code we added repository, both are exclusive. There is no relation between these two. Am I right?
That's correct. So some of the libraries need update. That was the initial library that we provided the information on.
It means whatever instance that is up and running, we are updating that instance.
Correct.
That is not related with. Okay.
Okay, so you do that, and if you see, okay, there are certain commands highlighted on this one. Okay, so if you want to install the GUI, which has got the graphical user interface, then you do this one, sudo apt get install bitcoin -qt. Okay, if you want just the Bitcoin daemon, then you do install bitcoin d. If you want to do both, which I did, so you do bitcoin -qt and bitcoin d. So it will install the daemon as well as the GUI. Okay, so I did both. I took the both option, install bitcoin qt and bitcoin daemon. It will take some time, and then it will it will end, and that is, if it is not giving you an error, that means it is done already, right?
Okay.
So you get a message saying I inputted this command to start the daemon. So bitcoin d /daemon dash daemon, right? So it will give you a message saying Bitcoin server starting. When it ends, that is when your Bitcoin server has started on your local GCP machine. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Sunil, one quick
Yeah.
question. So I'm a little confused. So Bitcoin, generally server softwares. So how should I ask? So if I want to ask, it, like, what is the architecture here? Can you show sometime later, like how this whole architecture is? Like there needs to be server client. I was only expecting client, but I was not sure about server.
So it is not a client server architecture in the truest sense, because it is a distributed architecture. So everyone is a node. Everyone forms an architecture that becomes your massive server or super server, whatever, right? It is not a single server that we're talking about.
Okay, fine.
So when we say that the server starting, it means that our part of the listener or whoever will be issuing the command, that has started, and that will interact with the Bitcoin network.
So basically, we are currently configuring a standalone node on our GCP instance.
Correct. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
got it. Thank you.
So if you see, I've issued the first command, which ended in error because I had, and basically the spelling was incorrect. So when I do Bitcoin CLI get block count, it tells me the current block. So I will show that right away how you do that. So you have this. I don't want this in the background. Okay. So we will first go to blockchain.info and see the current block.
So this is the blockchain that was started by Satoshi, or this is different?
Yes.
Okay.
No, this is the same one.
I see. Okay.
Okay. So I come here and I want to do. You wanted to see the block count, right? If you see the latest block here on the blockchain explorer is 521477. So we should get the same one in our terminal. No, okay, this is the block count, not the height. You can get block height also. So there are certain commands that I've written. I'll just go ahead and sorry, the screen is stuck. Okay, so for example, we can see these ones, right? Now when you install this, automatically a wallet is created for you in which your balance would be 0 for now. Okay, so if we do a get wallet info for this particular node that we just installed, okay, so it will give you the wallet name, it will give you the wallet version currently, it will give you the balance. So my balance is 0 because I don't have anything. The unconfirmed balance, that is again 0 because there is no unconfirmed transaction on my name. You have transaction count, you have key pool dash, you have key pool size, etc., all this information. Now if you see, this is like a normal so for an this is sort of an API response, right? Those of you who have worked with REST APIs or any other APIs would recognize that sort of an XML message, right? You make a request and then you get a response in a specified format. So yesterday, a lot of you guys were asking how we can interact with the blockchain, how we can start working with it, right? So if you go to this particular documentation reference, I will show it to you. I must be having it open. So this is the developer reference for the Bitcoin blockchain. These are the RPCs available. Okay, remote procedure calls available for the Bitcoin or the Bitcoin core APIs. Some of these have been deprecated. So when it started, those methods were available, but they are no longer available, or they have been replaced by another method, newer method. Okay. So for example, you wanted to do get a block template. So how does a block look like, right? So you do a get block template. Let's try it. It may not give me the response because I have not downloaded the entire. Yeah, so it is still saying that error code 10 Bitcoin is downloading blocks, but I will not keep the instance running to allow everything. Suppose if you had set downloaded the entire data, then it would give you the block template. Let's try something else. So maybe we saw in the wallet we saw balance, right? Balance is 0, correct? Now if you were, for example, if you were making a wallet software, okay, which connected with this blockchain, right? So you would have to have ways to get the balance, you would have to have ways to initiate a transaction, you would have to have ways to receive money, etc., right? So get balance would be one of your APIs, right? So I did get balance here, and it tells me that my balance is 0.0.000 whatever, right? So
Hey
if I click
Sunil,
on get balance, yeah,
whose balance is this?
yes,
You have never means
this
just
this is my
no. I
so
mean
when
to
you
say,
become a node,
yeah, okay,
you get a default wallet assigned to you. Okay, this
yeah,
is the wallet information, the wallet name and data, right? So this is your wallet, and your balance is 0. I would similarly have an address assigned.
no. I mean to say, Sunil, this
Hmm.
this is the default wallet in the node. Suppose
Correct.
now
For this
I
particular
want to
node.
buy some, yeah, but this is not related to any user ID or password.
Correct. For this particular node, this node is doing some. If this node were to do mining, right, this node would also
Okay.
get certain rewards for it. So those bitcoins that you receive, okay, that is for that particular node. You are the owner of that node. You could transfer that bitcoins to your particular wallet that you own at any of the other websites, or you have a hardware take on whatever, right? So you can transfer it to there, and from there you could sell it. So this
Okay.
is the wallet address of that particular node. Correct.
Yes.
So for get balance, okay, if you see, this is the documentation for it. So it says that you have to give if you wanted to check balance for someone, you give the account name for that. So get balance account. Uh, Again, like I said, some of them are deprecated, right? So if you see, it says this method has been deprecated and will be removed in a later version. So currently it might be available, but going forward it might be removed. Okay. And in the output, in the result, you will get a number which will say number of bitcoins. It is a mandatory field, the balance of the account on all the accounts in the bitcoin. So this is the same format that is for all the transactions that you have. We could check another one, say for example, get maybe block header. Let's check whether this one is working.
So who has developed these APIs? Sorry.
So again, it is free source. People keep adding to it, and when it gets accepted in the network, okay, it gets published here. So this is the original website on which Satoshi uploaded the paper, bitcoin.org. And I mean, there are people who, like people keep updating Wikipedia. There are people who keep updating this also. Whenever there is a new fork that happens, so there are new methods or parameters that are added to the network. There are people who will maintain the documentation also, so everyone can come here and look at it. Okay. So do you want to if you want to practice, maybe you can take 10-15 minutes, because it will not take you much time to set up the Google Cloud account. You can set it up, you can fire the SSH, and you can do some commands right away if you want to do it, or you can do it in your free time, whatever works for you. You guys tell me.
So Sunil, up to now it's clear. Means we have installed the node. We have
Correct.
become a
So,
node in the blockchain
so
Bitcoin. What next?
correct. What the
Are
next
we
part
going
is,
to?
if you want to, yeah, if you want to become a miner, okay. So till now you have become just a node who receives information, who can do certain stuff. If you want to become a miner, then there is another piece of code that you will need to get downloaded on your machine. Okay. Google, I did not do it on this platform, is because Google does not let you do mining on its servers. Okay. I mean, for that matter, no one lets you do it for free. So Google, AWS, anyone, if you try to install a miner on that, it will let you install, but in few hours they will be able to detect that you are doing mining and they will ban your account. So I will show you how you can do that, but we have not done it on this node, and I would not advise even you to do it on your GCP or AWS one. The method remains same wherever you do it. So if you have a dedicated machine, or you have an old laptop, etc., or a desktop, where you want to do it, you can do it. Or we will see specific mining hardwares for Bitcoin mining. So you get those hardwares, you do mining on that. Come to this one. Let me quickly go down here. So for Bitcoin mining, these are the three most popular ones currently. I'll just put it on. Okay. So you've got Antminer S7, Antminer S9, and Avalon 6. Antminer is the most popular one, but as you can see, the price for them, price is very expensive. And like I've been saying, mining is lottery, right? No matter how much powerful a machine you have, or how dedicatedly you are doing it, if someone else does it before you, you get no reward for it. Correct. So initially, when there was not a lot of competition, people put a lot of money in these miners, and they were able to mine. So the mining reward currently is 12.5 bitcoins if you are able to do for a block. Okay. So uh, if you are able to solve a block, you get 12.5 bitcoins. In the current situation, because of the difficulty level, so yes, one of the commands is
Sunil, if they will
get,
find, okay,
yeah,
I'm mining, Google will kill my instance or will block me?
kill the instance and block you.
Okay,
That
so what
particular
another
account, they
way?
block it. So other way is either you get a dedicated machine, or there are websites which will let you mine. So like Hashflare or Cheap VFS, etc., etc. Right? These servers, these providers are offering you servers dedicatedly for mining. Okay, and they will take you a little higher fees than the other one, because they are providing you specifically for that purpose, right? So you can do mining there. Easiest way is not to invest in any of these things. Okay. There are websites which will just want you to create an account. They will give you the processing capacity that you want. Okay. And it is fixed billing for you. So for example, it could be $40, $50 per month, depending on the type of machine and bandwidth you've chosen. You have to pay that no matter what, whether you are able to mine even 0.001 coin, or you are able to mine 10,000 coins, they don't care, right? So they've got spare capacity, you buy the spare capacity, you do whatever you want with it. Okay, so there are websites like that which give you that sort of feature. Let's go
Sunil,
back to the yep.
Sunil, I have couple of very basic questions. So,
Yes, tell me.
I don't know whether this will disturb the flow. If it disturbs the flow, then we can
No,
cover them later. So
Yeah,
when
sure.
you
Go
say
ahead, ask.
when you say that it is a lottery and lot of people are competing to get the problem solved. So what are
Hmm.
I mean what
Hmm.
are these hardwares solving? Can you give me a very simplistic example?
A very simplistic example is they are solving nothing.
Okay.
Okay, I will just read it out. We have, so if you read this part, okay, Bitcoin
Mm.
mining is an arms race. Originally, people could mine with a CPU on a regular PC, but that hasn't been practical for a lot of time. Next,
Mm.
mining was offloaded to GPUs. After some time, the difficulty was raised, so now GPUs also it is not possible. Mining is now done using special purpose ASIC hardware, which is rapidly increasing in speed. For profit, mining is very competitive, and you will need dedicated hardware to do that. But if you uh, there are sites which will let you calculate how much you would spend in electricity and processing power
No, no,
versus how
no.
much you
Yeah,
would
yeah,
earn.
yeah,
So
yeah. I understand that part. I totally understand that. But what I am really interested and that always puzzles me is what the heck they are solving. Like it is like problem like say
they,
generally my understanding of problem is like are they solving something like 2 plus 2 is equal to 4? I mean what is the problem? Because we just saw the difficulty
okay,
level.
okay, okay. No, so we have talked about the problem. You remember the leading 5 zeros test?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I remember that.
So that is the
So
problem they are trying. Yeah,
Sunil Pandit, let me try to explain so that
yeah,
probably you can confirm if my understanding is correct or not. So I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
it
That
was
would be good.
discussed.
So yeah, it would answer both.
Yeah, yeah, it was discussed in the first or second class, probably. So I think there are two things. One is the hash code and then nonce, right? Knowns.
Nonce. Yes.
So they are known. So this through this mining, we are creating this hash code for that next block, whichever thing has been done. We are trying to create that hash block, and I think there was something he mentioned about 5 or 7 leading zero
Yes.
that need to be calculated to make sure that that particular block or transaction is valid or not. That's what probably this mining does. That's what my understanding is. Yes, Sunil,
So
can you confirm?
yes, and you are right. So the problem we keep speaking about that miners have to solve a problem which is very difficult, right? The solving problem part does not actually do anything. Okay, what is the algorithm called? The algorithm is called proof of work. So you have to prove that you have spent a lot of time doing something which shows your intent in being a good member of the network. Okay, and you are rewarded for that. Now we saw that algorithm on day 2, wherein you take the hash of the previous header,
Hmm.
you take hash of the current block, the block of transactions, and you have to generate a random number, okay, which is nonce, which all these three put through SHA-256 should generate a hash which should have a leading number of zeros. Currently it is 13, right? So for example, it has to generate 13 leading zeros. Now I input the nonce, I try with nonce as 1. Okay, probably if I show you with an example, just give me a second, I'm trying to pull something up.
And Sunil, if this is breaking your flow, then I can
No,
get my answer set.
No,
not
no,
a problem, but
no,
the
no,
thing
no,
is,
no.
No, this is
Vinay,
right.
sir,
Yeah, Vinay.
this is the
yeah,
point
because
which we need to understand.
Okay.
unless understand this, then everything,
Yeah,
because yeah, that doubt keeps lingering then always. So
exactly.
I had it open in the morning, but I've closed it. And
So, Sunil, do you have any local setup where we can see live mining?
I don't do mining because it is resource intensive. Kaka does it, so maybe I will ask him to share it. He does not do it for Bitcoin, He does it for the altcoins. So if he's still doing it, I will ask him to include it. He's got a mining rig. So if he's still doing it, I will ask him to definitely share in the next session.
Okay.
I'm unable to find the link. I will share it with you. So basically what happens is, say we had the same, I'm audible, right? So say we
Yes.
had the same problem where we have the previous hash and we have a block of transactions for which we have generated an hash and we want to generate a nonce. Okay. What would be the best way to do it? I would try with nonce as 1. Okay. So I put the nonce as 1, put it to the algorithm. Okay. It will give me a certain hash as the output. So for example, it would say 0x ABC, whatever,
Sunil,
whatever, right?
Sunil, can we
Yeah.
go on the console and see these things? Yes, we will not
Console?
mind, but at
No,
least
no,
we
no.
can see.
Con-
No.
No. You cannot see it on the console because it's not a single transaction. Because uh, mining does not happen by you issuing a command; it keeps happening in the background automatically. So we know the algorithm, but system does it automatically for you.
So which command do we need to give?
You don't need to give any command, right? So it is like on bit. I mean, you install an application and the application is running automatically in the background. It will keep doing a lot of calculations to keep. So what it will do is it will randomly generate a. Okay, I might.
Sunil, can you do one thing for me? Can you do one
Yes.
thing?
Yes.
Just
Tell
take
me.
one very simple hash of say 3 digits and
Hmm.
say leading 0 of 1 and previous hash
Okay.
value, something like this. Create a simplistic example. Then we can extend to say 64 bits or whatever that block size or hash size is. So if you can show me with one very simple example, it would be really great.
Great. So we had it in the first.
Sorry, man, if I'm again asking
No,
the
no,
same
no, no,
question.
no, no. This is okay, and this is good because unless you have the basics clear, you will
Yeah,
keep hearing to me, but you will not get
yeah.
anywhere.
Just take one simple example, say hash of say some hash.
Yeah, I will. We had it on day 2, so just let me open that particular one. Week 1, day 2. Okay, so I will start from start. You have a pool of uncommitted transactions, all the transactions that have happened. You have header of the last block, which is hash of the last block, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have a target value. So target value should be less than hash number should be less than target value. Target value is the leading zeros test. Okay. So for simplicity's sake, I had taken it as 5 leading zeros test, but in reality, the difficulty, like I said, the difficulty gets increased every 2000. I mean, 2.1 lakh blocks, right? So every 2016 blocks, it will the difficulty will get increased. Difficulty also gets increased if there's a lot of mining capacity, so miners are able to solve the blocks very quickly. Then the network will auto adjust and increase the difficulty. Okay, we will see that in one of the slides. So for here, consider everything is running smoothly and it is 5 leading zeros test, right? Now we have got header of the last block, so say the header of the previous block was something like this.
I'm
uh,
not able to see.
Sorry, not
I'm
able
not
to see.
able to. Yeah,
Uh,
it is still on Bitcoin miners.
okay, sorry, I had paused the screen. Are you able to see
Okay.
something now?
No, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
now it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so
There was
I'll
some.
just go back. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So this is the leading 5. So for example, the algorithm, the target value has to be a hash which starts with at least 5 zeros. Okay,
Uh,
so this is header of the previous block. Okay,
okay.
DGD, whatever.
Whatever.
And the proposed block, we have a transaction which reads this is a test. So we will generate a hash of this also, but for simplicity's sake, I have kept it as is. Okay. but
Okay.
ideally this is also go through a hash, so it will again give a fixed length output. Okay, this plus there has to be a nonce. Okay, which is what you calculate as a minor. Okay, but how do you find out a number which suits this, which goes into this equation and then gives you an output which has a hash of leading zeros? You don't know a value, right? You cannot guess. So you start with number one. You pass number one as the input. It will do the calculation, give you the hash. You realize it is not the one that you needed. So you increment the number. You do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, right? So you would reach a point where, for example, you inputted 1000. It give you leading two zeros. Okay, I mean, I'm saying this a very simplistic
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Please go
So
ahead.
so you keep increasing the nonce value. Say you were doing it a lot of times and you you reached to a nonce which was 987,159. You were incrementing it incrementally. Okay,
Okay.
so at 987,159 you received this hash value which was 00000 and then
Uh,
4. So this is when you have generated a nonce, okay, which
uh,
passes the leading 5 zeros test. So you have
okay.
been able to calculate the nonce.
Okay.
Okay. So you announce to the network that I have been able to generate the nonce, and based on the nonce, this is the hash value for the next block. So that becomes the hash of the block that you had mined. It is also satisfying this condition. The hash number has to be less than target value. What is the target value? Target value would be something with 5 leading zeros. So your hash number is less than that. Okay. So you have done the proof of work. So if we go to blockchain.info, where is it?
Second is clear.
If you can see all of this information, yeah,
Uh,
the hash is calculated. So if you see the number of zeros, if I can count it now, 4, 5, 6,
1390.
7, 8, 9, 10. It is a lot. It is
Hmm.
30. Is it 13?
Uh,
Yeah. So
okay. Something that range. Yeah. No problem.
yeah. So
Uh-huh.
when the next difficulty is to be increased, they would change the test to leading 14 zeros, right? Now to get a hash with leading 14 zeros, the difficulty has increased considerably. So the number of nonces that you would have to guess would be much more than if it were 13, right? So why do they say that it takes you average 10 minutes? Because given the current capacity of the network, okay, all the miners that there on the network, it takes an average of that time. So they will try to maintain it at 10 minutes. Now suppose tomorrow a very super powerful computer joins the network which starts Bitcoin mining, and it is able to solve it, so I mean guess the nonsense very fast. Okay, then they realize that there is someone on the network for whom this difficulty level. So if you see, this is the difficulty level of this particular block, right? So they will increase the difficulty in such way that it 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 I mean the new miner will have to take more time trying to guess the next available hash, right? So the network keeps doing that automatically. How it does how it is done is, so for example, I'll just, so if you see on the right hand side, okay, uh, it is a vicious circle, right? So example, there are more miners have joined the network. The block creation rate increases. So average mining time decreases. Now we know that the ideal average time is established as 10 minutes per block. So mining difficulty will be increased by the network. Okay. When mining difficulty increases, block creation rate will automatically go down. When the block creation rate goes down, the average mining time will go back to 10 minutes again, right? Now, if there were lesser miners, okay, so automatically, if there are less miners, the average time will increase, it will automatically. So this goes in a circle. And the target value that we saw in this particular one, right? Hash number has to be less than target value, right? This target value is recalculated after every 2016 blocks. So every 2 weeks. Okay. That is, so if you take 10 minutes to generate a block, it will take you approximately 2 weeks to generate 2016 blocks. So after every 2 weeks, the network will readjust the difficulty in such a way that no matter how many miners are there on the network, it will still take 10 minutes to mine a block. Now
So,
does it? Yeah.
so a couple of quick questions. So basically, this network is a self-adjusting network, right?
Correct. No one has to take a corrective action or an maintenance sort of thing. The networks readjust itself automatically.
So a couple of again quick questions. So who decides the difficulty level here?
No one decides it, so it has been feeded in the network at the time of implementation itself, right? So ideal time has been decided as 10 minutes. That is there in the network code itself. Okay. So if number of miner increases, it will automatically increase the difficulty level. The platform itself will do it.
So in that case, the initial miners would have been at an unfair advantage because at that time the
Exactly. So that is why people. So when we saw this one, I mean,
Mhm.
when we were reading the last pair on this one, originally people could mine using a CPU. So that is how people were able to mine thousands of bitcoins on their desktop, because there were not lot of many people available who were doing mining, right? So they were able to do it very easily. Now, as more people joined, okay, network automatically started readjusting itself. So by readjusting, it increased the difficulty level. So people realized that with normal CPUs or normal laptops or computers, they would not be able to mine anything. Now, all of us have used graphic cards, right? And we know why graphics cards are popular, because graphics card are mathematically more competent than our all-purpose CPU, right? Our CPUs, they are designed for an all-purpose usage, while graphics card have a very dedicated usage. Okay, so they are mathematically more competent if you were to, uh, use them to solve problems. Okay, so people started using these GPUs. Now, there are still other coins which you can mine using GPUs, and you'll be fairly successful at them. But Bitcoin, after a lot of people started doing it GPUs, the difficulty was further increased by the network, right? So there came dedicated miners. Okay, they evolved a lot, and the ones that we saw here, the ASIC ones, uh, the Ant Miner S7, S9. These are the most, I mean, the most advanced ones available in the market at this moment. If you see the capacity, okay. So when we say a hash that is generated in the process, this particular process that we had, okay, this thing that we are generated, this is called as a hash. Okay, this hash, this particular Antminer S7, it can generate 4.73 tera hashes per second. That is huge, right? Per second, it can guess that many values. Similarly, for Antminer S9, it can guess 13 point guess or generate whatever we want to call it, 13.5 THS, and the Avalon can generate 3.5 THS. Power efficiency, if you see, this one is using the lowest power. No, this one is using the lowest power. That is why it is most expensive, because you have to keep this running 24/7, and they are CPU intensive. They, if I were to run, so for example, today we are doing a lot of jumping because the questions are in that manner. So you have something called as an open hardware monitor. I installed this sometime back when I had installed the mining software. What happens is this mining software, right? It is very heavy on your CPU. So if you let it running, it will fry your CPU. So you have to keep measuring the temperature of and the usage of your CPU. So if you see here, it is saying that I've got two CPUs. The current temperature is 55 degrees. Uh, maximum that is supposed to be 62. Obviously, it can go above that, but if you keep running it at the same level for a long time, you will end up damaging your CPU. Right now, if you see the load is 21%. If I were doing mining using this particular machine, you would see that this resource usage would be 100%, because these CPUs are not designed for that purpose. They are designed for day-to-day work. They are designed for using normal application, not for mining. So if I start mining on this particular machine, it will use all my CPU usage.
So, so this
Yes.
this this difficulty level was initially determined by Satoshi when he implemented this Bitcoin.org.
Yes.
So this is
And then
like self-adjusting like difficulty level.
yes, yes.
Well, initially I thought there were few people who were controlling that. That's what my impression was.
No, people can, I mean, initially, obviously, people had a guiding factor, but if you let people control it, then it is no longer the free network that we are talking about, right? So it
Okay.
happens.
So so
Yes.
now in the context of say Andhra Pradesh land record, can how can we map this thing?
You cannot map it directly.
Okay.
Okay. The So when we install the platform is available. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have to add. So what do you do with a database? Okay. What do you do with a database? If you were to design the same Andhra Pradesh government application using database, how would you do it? You would write the schema of the table. Okay.
Exactly.
You would decide what all fields you need there. You would
Right.
create using the DML statement. The table is created. Then you
Yeah.
would decide who would be the users of the system.
Right.
You would decide their roles, their specific roles as to what these users will be doing on the system.
Right.
You would give them entitlements, who is able to do what. So
Mm-hmm.
normal people, normal citizens, they would just be able to view it. There would
Mm-hmm.
be administrative staff who would be able to do administrative functions on it.
Right.
Correct. There has to be a maker or checker. So
Mm.
someone makes the transaction, someone else approves it, so that the same person cannot do fraud, right? If
Mm.
I am in charge of it, I should not be able to do both of these things,
Mm.
etc., right? You can
Right.
think
Right.
all of that.
Yeah.
Now, for the user to be able to use it, there has to be a view. There has to be a way so he can add records to it. Okay, so you would
Right.
have an insert operation,
Right.
and for them to view, you would have an inquire operation. Correct.
Exactly.
Now we would think. Let's think only in terms of blockchain. Okay.
Right.
So considering that database also does not have an update or delete function. Okay.
Okay.
Now what is blockchain basically? Blockchain is a distributed database. It is a ledger.
Mm.
Okay. What is okay? Let's get to even basic. What is a ledger?
It is like credit debit information.
It is just credit
And
debit information. Even basic than that, it is just a record of transactions. Okay.
exactly the card of transaction. Yeah.
Record of transactions. So credit debit is in the financial world. Otherwise, a
Mm.
ledger is just a journal in which you keep entering all transactions that have happened.
Exactly.
Okay. So blockchain is exactly that. Okay.
Mm.
If we go to this one, okay, this one, right? So let's consider this as a case of Andhra Pradesh government. Okay. Now this transaction that we have here. Okay. Say the
Mm.
transaction one read, person ABC transferred or sold his land at XYZ place at measuring this much meters into this much square meters at this rate. Okay.
Okay.
Similarly, you would have 10 records here.
Mm.
Okay. Say let's say there is a limit that the system can hold only 10 transactions per block. Okay.
Okay.
So those 10 transactions would be put here. They would
Mm.
be hashed. Okay.
Mm.
Now only the hash would be stored in this block and put on the blockchain. Okay.
Okay.
So there would be one way, I mean, there would be some way that we are able to map that these 10 transactions were put in a block. So we store it somewhere. Okay. That the transaction number 100 to transaction number 110 was hashed in say block 10. Okay.
Mm.
And the hash code is this one. So we have a 32, 64, whatever byte. hash code associated, which we would put in this particular message. So here we have the hash code. Now tomorrow, if someone wants to verify whether these 10 transactions actually happened in block 10, okay, he can take those 10 transactions that we have stored and again run an hashing algorithm. So what does hashing algorithm do? You give an input to it, any size input, it will give you a fixed length output. Okay. So the person runs the same hashing algorithm on it. If he gets a hash same as this, okay, what does that signify? That nothing in the transaction has been altered, right? Because we saw this one. Where is it? Yeah, this one. So we saw if it is small letter ABC or small letter AB and capital C, the hash changes by a great deal.
Exactly.
Correct. So if someone tried to change anything in this transaction, okay, the hash would not match, which is when we would realize that someone has done some, something wrong with this particular transaction. So only when the hash match, we realize that this transaction takes place. That is how we ensure immutability of transactions. That once a transaction has happened, even if someone tries to change it, we will always be able to catch him. Okay. Now, so those 10 transactions would be listed here. We make a blockchain of it and it is available everywhere. Anyone wants to verify, they can come and verify. So what does blockchain offer you? Blockchain does not offer you the functionality that sits on top of it. Now for a person to be able to see what is there in that transaction, right? So this transaction, for example, we said person ABC has transferred his land at XYZ price to this person at measuring whatever, right? That transaction has to be stored somewhere, which is the logic that you will have to build in your particular application. So in the querying, when you query it up, okay, using the person's address, so that person will be assigned an address like the public key and the private key, okay. So using his public address, it should be able to search all the transactions for him. Okay, and then when you inquire on that address, you can see all the transactions that involve him. So it would give transaction, for example, this person sold his land on this and this date, whatever you will get the timestamp, etc. from here. Okay, so that logic you will build. Now we talk about all this nonce, hash, etc. Right? What purpose is it serving? The hash is serving the purpose that the transaction is not modified by anyone. The nonce is serving the purpose that this was validated, verified by someone, whoever was the miner in this particular case, and only then this block was added. So that is the only purpose that this nonce is serving. Otherwise, nonce does not have any other value in this entire chain. Yes, someone was asking something.
Sunil, yeah. So there are 2-3 questions related to this one. So assuming person A has sold to person B on XYZ rate,
correct,
and that has been added in blockchain.
Correct.
So there are 4 things here. One is blockchain, another one is message, third one is private key, and some public key.
Correct.
So what are we going to store and where? In our database or in some file, or because those only blockchain and message are in blockchain.
Correct. So in your specific database, like in your wallet, that wallet is stored locally at your side. It could be a database, it could be a file, anything. What are you storing there? The public address and the private address, right? When I pull the public address and run it on the blockchain, I will get all the transactions that have happened on that blockchain, because everyone has a ledger, distributed ledger, right? On that ledger, the transaction is recorded for everyone. So if we go here, just if you see the transactions, these are the addresses on which the transactions were happening, right?
Yes.
These are the addresses. So when you click on one of the addresses here, it will query and tell you. So it says here, right? These addresses are identifiers which you use to send Bitcoin to another person. Now I don't know who this person is. Okay, but I will be able to see list of all transactions that have happened on that public address ever. Okay, some of
Okay.
them, they, so if you see it has received just 6 confirmations, we say you have to wait at least for 10 into 660. Yeah, 6 confirmations you have to wait at least, right? This is an unconfirmed transaction, so this happened very recently. It is not confirmed yet. Okay, so this way I'm able to find all the transactions that ever happened on this particular address. I will just go to the last page.
Sunil, could you go on that
Ever in the history of
diagram?
Bitcoin blockchain.
Okay. Could you go on that diagram of the blockchain where you're showing? Yes.
This one.
So, assuming now we are on block 11, because 9 to 10, 10 to 11, and in 9 there was message that A has sold to B.
Correct.
So that was the message.
Correct.
Hash was there. So now coming on block 11, if someone is asking about the transaction of A to B on XYZ rate, how will I go and traverse?
You cannot traverse directly for A to B. For that, you have this get address thing, right? So you will have to have the address of that particular person on which you want to search it. Now there has to be a mechanism for example, Sunil Pandey to be tied to this address. By definition, Bitcoin does not do that. But will Andhra government need to do that? They will need to, right? Because the particular person on which they are doing transaction, there has to be a link between this address on the blockchain and the real person. Okay, so that linking is something that your application has to do. So for example, I would create an online portal where I would create a profile for the person. So his name, Aadhaar, whatever, right? And this address would also be stored as a field in that database.
Okay, you mean to say, suppose that JEX, what is showing the address,
correct,
has sold some person B on XYZ rate, and that information is in block 9. So
correct.
So now this thing is clear, but so what are we going to store in database? JEX, because that is address.
Correct.
Block
so
9.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you will just store the address. Okay. So for example, I'm a person in Andhra Pradesh. Okay. And the government has started a portal. I will go there and register. I will input my first name, last name, whatever is required to create a profile. And they will also let me create a public address and a private address on that site. That is the basic that you have to have for a blockchain, right? So now the government, I mean, private key only I have, public key is available for everyone. So for example, there is someone, okay, who walks in to the same office and says, I want to purchase this land, and Mr. Sunil Pandey claims to be the owner of it. Can you please confirm? Okay, now that this would not be the real application, but let's say that is the application for it, right? So what will the person sitting in the office do? He would search for my name, he would have my public address, he would click on it, it would show all the transactions for me. Okay, so if ever that land was registered to me, it would show up on the blockchain. Okay, so it could be confirmed that the land really belongs to me. Now consider this in the current scenario. Okay, that land belongs to me. I sell it to, say, Ashok. Okay, and while I'm doing the transaction, I also try to sell it to Vinay. Okay, will Vinay come to know about it? No, that I'm doing the land sale of the same land to two persons simultaneously. Will the current system that we have in place, it may be able to detect, okay, it may be able to detect that I'm trying to sell the same land to two people. But if, say, I've got the registrar paid some money to, indulge into this, and I will share with whatever exploits I get from this, right? They will still go ahead and do it.
Sunil,
But on
one
the
more
blocks,
thing basically.
yes.
Sunil, one more thing. As we discussed right now, the selling information in block 9 is stored in database, and that database is just owned by some Andhra government or local person. if
Correct.
that information can be manipulated 9 to 11,
No,
is
no,
it
no, no.
possible to
So no, no, no,
search
no.
in blockchain?
This is not stored on the no. This is not stored on the blockchain. All the block information on the block hashes and the transactions are stored there. Only my public addresses will be stored in that particular application which I developed. Rest everything is there on the blockchain.
Okay, so you mean to
That
say
is
only
why I put
public
on the block.
information?
Yes,
Yeah, so that
yes.
that thing I'm
Because there
looking on
has to
that.
be some way. Huh, huh.
There has to be what is that way
There has
basically I'm looking
huh.
for?
I didn't get your question. So I was saying there has to
Okay.
be some way to connect
Yeah,
the real person to this virtual address that we have on the blockchain.
yeah, that thing also I'm looking for. Okay, what can be that way basically? How we can go and trace that from that
No,
diagram?
not from this diagram. So, for example, like I said, if you, I had advised you guys to go ahead and create your profiles on exchanges, right? So, how do exchanges do that? Exchanges will create a profile for you, okay, and that profile will also have your public address and the private key which is only known to you, right? Now how do you do transactions on the network? Whatever transaction that you are doing, okay, all the transactions are sent on the network. Does any database store that? No, it is stored on the blockchain. The blocks are prepared, which is exactly like what we saw here. This is how the blocks are prepared. In each block the transactions will be grouped, okay. When you search it,
Okay.
so this will also have the public address of the person who initiated it. The transaction will be signed using his private key, which makes sure that it is the real person who initiated it. This transaction one, it is very simplistic here that it is just one line. The transaction
Yeah.
one itself would have a long format. So it would have your public address, it would have the transaction details, the timestamp, and a lot of other information. Then it would be signed using your private key. So no one else is able to view it. Only the person who signed the whole message would be encrypted using his public key. So only that person is able to decrypt using his private key, right? So everyone else is very content of the message. Everyone else can verify that you initiated transaction, but only the person who is intended to receive it will be able to decrypt the message. Okay, so you can
Yeah.
consider that entire information is section one. Okay, when we run a hash that we generate here on all of this information, anyone tries to tamper with these messages, the hash will change. That is how we ensure. Yes.
Yeah. We are on the command line of that machine. So can we see what is the transaction pool right now for which my machine is going to create a block? Although I'm successful or not, I've got the unknowns or not, doesn't matter. So what is that transaction pool for that? Yeah.
I have not installed the miner on this machine, like I said, because I have not installed the miner on this one because Google will ban it. But I will show you how you can do that.
No. You mean to say once you
No,
will
not a
install the
problem.
miner?
What you can do is only then you can start mining blocks.
Right now, my machine is not mining
Second.
anything.
Right now, it is not mining. It is just a silent listener node. It will just copy of it on my local hard disk, or not my local hard disk. There's machines that we created on the Google Cloud, right? So all the transactions that are propagated will be written here. Okay. I was showing you something. Okay, so in my downloads, okay, there is a software called Puller CPU Miner. Okay, if you go ahead and run this application, it will start the mining application on Windows. It will not. My antivirus will not let me run it. Okay, it will automatically kill it because
we can stop the antivirus for a few minutes.
Okay, let me do that. system automatically kills it. I think the firewall is blocking it. Just give me a second. No, it automatically gets killed. I think the firewall is blocking it. But anyways, if you have a clean machine on which there is nothing written, or I will show you another way. Okay. And this is something that you should know. So if any of you guys use torrents, okay, or similar websites, what was the website name? Okay, this is a very famous website. So if you see my, even though I killed my antivirus, it had not got killed. So as soon as I opened this site, what is it saying? We have safely aborted connection to this site because it was infected with JS Kryptonite. Okay. What it does is basically what these sites have come up with. They have come up with very ingenious way. We all know that mining takes a lot of CPU resources. Okay. Now these sites, they have a lot of visitors. So they have written a JavaScript code on their home page. As soon as you open their website, it will silently start mining on your machine for them. So if you do not have an antivirus installed, you may not even know. Let me see if I
Okay, means
can
we have not
kill
installed this app.
It will use all of your CPU resources, but just for demo purposes, let me kill the antivirus from Task Manager.
And then leave that.
But I hope my PC doesn't become.
It's okay. Do you have a Docker? Within 1 or 2 minutes, it will be up and running our Linux machine.
Which?
A Docker. Do you have
Sorry,
Docker
I didn't get
installed
you.
on your? Okay. Oh.
No, I don't have. If it is required, we can have it. I mean, I can have it installed in the next session. So a lot of sites do it. A lot of sites even ask you for your permission. Like, so for example, there are sites, paid sites, right? They will tell you that, we will let access to exclusive content. You don't pay anything for us, anything to us, but we will mine using your CPU, and we will make sure that we never utilize more than 30% or 20% of your CPU. In that case, it is a win-win for both the parties, right? I can able to browse the content on that website, and they are not utilizing much CPU of mine, which is available free. That is fine. But if I kill my antivirus right now, okay, and show you the CPU usage, this website will try to use 100% of my CPU. Okay, so that is how these sites are working. Monero is
Sunil, time being, we are on the command line. We have blocks. Can you see some block structure on command line?
A second. You can see probably block template. So get mining, get block template. Okay, it is still downloading the blocks, so it cannot show at this point in time. We can run another one. The thing is, when you install it for the first time, the blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain platform, it takes around 200 GB download. So it takes 6 or 7 days to download everything. So I'm not sure at what stage this is. I've been running it from this morning, but it is yet not completed. So for example, if you had to find the block hash of block number 52147, this is the hash. So I just did get block hash 52147, that is height in the tree, and it will give you the black hash of that block. Just a second, someone is typing. Sunil has passed some link. So yes, so get info is also one of the transactions. We can run it here also. Okay, this is a deprecated one. So it is saying this call has been removed in version 0.16. But I mean, Sunil, the reference that you passed, that is all a subset of this particular link that I have given. So all of it is listed here. You have all the, I mean, even the deprecated ones are listed here. You can read the documentation, and it will tell you. So, for example, for sending something to that address, right? You have the send to address. So you do the same thing. You give send to, and then you provide an address, and it will send the coins to that particular address. So you have to specify two things: the to address and the amount. And if you want to include a comment, whatever, right? And then you have a result. In result, it will tell you what you. So in result, it will just give you the transaction ID. So like this command.
Sure, Sunil, one question. Do you have updated blockchain downloaded? Means up to now?
No. So that is that is what I'm saying. No. If what we saw here, right? It says it is still updating. It has to download 200 GB of data. Okay. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, definitely. Because what I'm looking for, I will transfer you 0.001 Bitcoin or whatever, $1 effectively.
And we can do it. We can do it on testnet. Yeah, we can do it on testnet. Okay, and that we will cover in Ethereum. So in Ethereum, we will have a coin deployed. Okay, and we will transfer each other coins. We will use MetaMask to connect to that particular blockchain. So like I will show you. MetaMask is an extension. Okay, like this one. So if I enter my password here and log in, it will show to which all blockchains I'm connected. And it gives me option to which networks I can be connected. So I can be connected to the main Ethereum network. These are the test networks that you have. So Ropsten is most widely used. We will deploy a blockchain, Ethereum blockchain on Ropsten. And I will ask all of you to install MetaMask and connect, then share your addresses with us. And we will try transferring coins to each other. At the end, I mean, yeah, that's it. So that way it will help you understand. Maybe you can try sending it back to each other of you, and that way, and then you can look at the Ethereum testnet, like we have that blockchain info.info. For Ethereum also you have a similar website. So on that Ethereum website you can go and see your transactions. Yeah, that's how it works on Ethereum, but it is a little. Yeah, on testnet it should be fine because we would be paying gas too, so the transaction should go through. We cannot do it on the main network because on main network you have to give real Ethereums, right? So that will cost us a lot of money to test it out. So we will do it on the testnet.
Okay.
Yeah. So now see this particular command here. Okay. This is also on testnet of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin also has a testnet and it has a main network. I cannot issue that command in this one because this is connected to the main net. It will not connected to testnet, and I need to generate a username password to it. So like we created it for the main net, maybe as a weekend exercise or during the week, you can try connecting with the testnet. Okay. So it says that, like I said, could not locate RPC credentials for the testnet. because I'm connected to the main network. So my account is not there on the test net. So if I, instead of connecting to the main net, if I had connected to the test net, this transaction would go through. So whoever this address belongs to, this particular address, right? The 0.1 BTCs would be sent to that particular person. So if you create testnet and you create accounts, you can try sending coins to each other on the testnet. Otherwise, we will do it on Ethereum anyway. So we will show how you do it on Ethereum. Concept remains same across, even you do it on Bitcoin or you do it on on the Ethereum network. So yes, coming back to this, right? Now, this particular transaction, okay, what is it doing? It is invoking the Bitcoin client. Forget testnet for now. We will assume that it is happening on the mainnet on itself, right? And it is calling a function send to address. It is passing the parameters, the address, the amount, the comments, and whatever, I mean, the comment too, right? Similarly, you could have a curl for this, okay, or I mean any other API based thing. So there you would again pass these parameters. So if it were curl, you would have those opening braces, these things listed by comma separated, end of braces, etc. So you could call it from a PHP application. Okay, this same thing. So that is how these wallets or these exchanges are built. They call the main net using these same parameters, whatever are defined here. Only thing is the programming language that you use differs. So the core blockchain platform is built using C++. But I mean, not a lot of people are C++ programmer these days, right? Because people don't use it that extensively now. They use Java, PHP, Golang, etc. Right? But because these APIs or RPCs are provided, you don't really need to be a champion in C++ to be able to work on the network. You could work in your respective technologies and call these functions.
So this is the
Right.
private.
So I will give this link also.
This send to address after that.
Sorry?
That this send to address is the public key, right? After send.
This is the public key. Yes, this is the public key.
Okay.
Because you would not know the private key of that person, right?
Right.
So these are the Bitcoin core APIs, all of them. A lot of them have got deprecated now. So when something gets deprecated, they roll out an updated version of that one. So in the documentation itself, you will see that it will say this is a deprecated one, and instead use this particular function. If not there and you issue the command here, it will also say the same thing, that this particular thing has been deprecated. So like if you see here, this call was removed in version this one. Use the appropriate fields from this one. So you could instead do a get blockchain info, block difficulty chain, etc. So they will give you the alternative functions that you can use. Okay. Now some of you are saying, how could you get started programming, right? So depending on the language that you are comfortable with, okay, and still it will not support all of the languages. So if you are good at PHP or if you are good at Python, you could develop your applications in that particular language, your specific application. And then when you have to interact with the blockchain, so you have only these RPCs available. You cannot do anything apart from that, because these are the only API calls available, right? So you call that API passing these parameters. So you have the input parameters available, you have the output parameters available. So you pass input as exactly like this, call the Bitcoin client, and then you expect the result in the same format that I described in the API. So you don't really need to know the Bitcoin platform code. Okay, you just need to know the input parameters and output parameters. That is how you interact even with modern day applications, right? For example, if you had to build an application that interacted with Facebook, okay, do you really need to know how Facebook is coded? No, but Facebook also has a developers platform where you can go sign up as a developer, and it will tell you how, I mean, if you want to get profile info for me, right, then it will have a specific format where you pass that information, and it will give you the result in a specific format. So that is the same thing with Bitcoin, that is the same thing with Ethereum or any other blockchain. So the platform is provided, and with that platform, a ready list of APIs is provided, which to get that specific information or even to initiate transactions. So all of these were get transactions, right? Similarly, you would also have set transactions, send transactions. So like you have set transaction fee, set network active, set generate, set ban, set account, send to address, etc. Right? So from your perspective, you just need to see this. You also have HTTP REST APIs. So not everything is available currently as HTTP REST, but a lot of it is available. So if you see this one, get block. Okay. Simply in HTTP, you do a get method and you call this thing. So get block hash dot form. Okay. Format in which you give the header hash parameter to, and the result will be a JSON. I'm sure, each one of you has some exposure to JSON. So this is the easiest way to develop a web app. If you are developing on blockchain, you use the JSON format. Otherwise, if you are comfortable with the RPC calls, you could go with RPC calls also. So like this is get chain info. The parameters, if you compare in this HTTP REST one or even in this one, parameters remain same. So you will get these things in results. Hello?
Yes, Sunil, I'm able to hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, when there is long silence, I
No.
start worrying that if I've lost you guys. Okay, so I'll go back to the presentation. We diverged a lot, but I hope at least I saw there were some queries, so I hope those are resolved at least now.
Yes. My queries are resolved. Thanks, Sunil,
Yeah,
for your patience.
yeah, no problem. Bitcoin, these are the most common. If you really want to do mining, you should purchase a dedicated hardware. Otherwise, you would just keep spending efforts with no luck. Other than doing a dedicated mining, there's something called as Bitcoin cloud mining also. Not just for Bitcoin, it is available for everything, right? So instead of having a dedicated hardware at your place, you could rent processing power and processing speed and space from the cloud providers. So they will they enable users to purchase mining capacity or hardware in data centers. Now we've got a lot of data centers around the world, right? They have spare capacity. They could not do anything with it. I mean, they have purchased CPUs, they have deployed it, but if they had got spare capacity, it is getting wasted. So instead, these guys have now started renting out the spare capacity for miners. Okay, so it enables people to earn bitcoins without managing hardware, software, electricity. So if you are an end user who thinks I should still mine without having to go through hassles of anything, you could directly purchase a space here and start mining automatically there. It enables the users to not deal with any of the hassles usually encountered when mining, etc. Now at your place, for example, if you are mining and you get a power cut, whatever transactions you had done get lost, etc., right? With cloud mining, all that problems do not arise. Plus, like I showed in the CPU monitor, these use your CPUs extensively, right? The CPU get heated a lot. So if you are doing it locally at your machine, there's a chance that you might end up damaging your CPU, etc. With cloud mining, all that risk is transferred to the provider. Even if the CPU is damaged, you don't have to pay for it. But obviously, he's charging you a fee for it. So it is a bit expensive than doing it locally. Advantages: no excess heat to deal with. If you are doing it locally, if you set up a mining rig at your home, it looks like something like this. If you see what is on the right hand side, this is what a mining rig is. So all of these things that you see on the right hand side, those are specific miners or GPU cards, etc. They are all connected to each other using these hubs, and they just have one display and one CPU, I mean normal CPU that runs the software which relays the information to them. These just keep generating the hashes, okay, and passing the input to the computer controlling them. If the computer recognizes that one of these miners have been able to generate a hash that solves the mining problem, then it will just push that to the network. So you don't have to code anything or etc. for that. The mining software takes care of it. So when you purchase these software, these hardwares, you also get software with them, the specific miner that will run with it. Okay, so that automatically takes care of it. No electricity costs, obviously, because the other person is running it. No mining equipment to sell. Now, what happened last year was a lot of people invested a lot in mining hardwares. Okay, and when the Bitcoin prices started falling down, or for example, they had invested in GPUs. Now they could no longer mine with GPUs. So what to do with the extra GPUs? They had to sell it at ridiculous prices. So they purchased it for say $1,500, and they had to sell it cheap, like $150 to people in the market. So with this, even if say tomorrow the difficulty increases, you're not able to mine. You don't end up with hardware that you have to take care of it. So that is taken care. No ventilation problems, no pre-order Bitcoin mining hardware that may not be delivered, etc. Disadvantages: a lot of people get frauded into this. You keep paying money for them. There's no actual mining happening, or they promise you we will give you these many hashes per second. You don't actually get it. Unverifiable or otherwise shady Bitcoin cloud mining operations, lower profits, etc., etc. You can read it yourself. Now, what is the middle ground? Okay, so there is a site called Hashflare that runs specific algorithms. So script is used in a lot of other, like you have for Litecoin, a lot of other ones also use script. Script is an algorithm just like SHA-256. Okay, so for Bitcoin, you need SHA-256 miner. For Litecoin, you have script. So you could go on hashflare.io and you can purchase it for as low as $0.80 per 10 giga hashes. So even this is not very cheap. If you see here, this one is able to do 4.73 tera hashes per second. Here they are charging you 0.80 per 10 giga hashes. But depending, I mean, you do your calculation whether you want to do it. You could purchase it here. Similarly, they've got it for all the coins. So Dash is also a coin, Zcash is also a coin, Ethereum, obviously all of us know. So you could purchase it on Hashflare. There are a lot of other sites also which offer this, but you should not. I mean, if you are really putting your money, you should go with a reputed one like Hashflare. Mining, obviously, we all know what mining is, but a little bit will again go over it. So difficulty of mining is very high. At current difficulty, the chance of hash succeeding is less than 1 in 10 raised to 19. So 10 raised to 19 is a lot of zeros. If you are able to generate 10 raised to 19 hashes, only one would suffice for the proof of work. So that is very difficult, right? To find a hash every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin hash rate needs to be insanely large. Currently, miners on network are doing about 25 million giga hashes per second. So that is the amount of hashes that people on the network are trying every second to generate the nonce. Right? That is a lot of money in terms of hardware that people are spending to generate or solve a block. Finding a successful hash is entirely arbitrary task that doesn't accomplish anything. So I think one of you asked this question, and I was trying to come to this point, but I was unable to find it then. So it says it very clearly here that finding a hash doesn't accomplish anything useful in itself, right? The only purpose of finding a small hash is to make mining difficult, which is fundamental to the Bitcoin security. When I make it difficult for you to find the hash, you spend a lot of power or a lot of processing finding the right hash, which shows your intent to work in the good faith of the network. So that is your proof of work. Mining is mostly funded by the 25. It is not 25 anymore. It was recently halved, so that is 12.5 bitcoins per block. And if you look in terms of how much money you would spend in mining, currently it works out to be around $15,000 per block, right? So if you are generating 12.5 bitcoins, obviously the value currently is much higher. Even if you take like $7,000 rate, it is like $85,000 that you would get in terms of Bitcoin money if you are able to solve a block, and the amount of effort that you would be spending is somewhere between 15,000 to 20,000 in terms of CPU resources, electricity, and bandwidth. But would you be able to
Hey,
solve a
Sunil.
block? Impossible. Yeah.
Sunil, means in the whole story, I couldn't get what I have to do other than buying a machine. Because whatever
Yes,
miner install manual
really,
mine.
you don't have. Yeah, you don't have to do anything.
It
You
means
buy the
a
machine.
normal person, yeah, in normal person, whatever they are showing, okay, itna mega hash per second or whatever, because we have a limited money. So there are many
Correct.
bigger shops, they can buy a lot of money and say, so they will be
Exactly.
always winner.
Exactly. So that is why the next thing comes up. Okay, this is for individuals. So individuals, it is impossible. That is why you start mining in a pool. So what is a pool? Say we 10 are a group. We decide that, boss, we were mining from last year. We were profitable, but now it has become impossible to solve it. There are other people with supercomputers who are able to mine it. So let's join our resources. Okay, we become a giant computer by mining, by bringing together our resources. Okay, so we connect all of our machines, and I am giving very simplistic example here right now, but it works in the same principle. So when we start generating hashes, normally I would start with one and keep incrementing it until I find the right one, right? What we will decide, there are 10 of us. I will start from 1, you start from 1,000, the other person starts from 2,000, the other person starts from 3,000. Whoever is able to solve it, okay, will announce it to all of us 10, and there would be one person who would be coordinating with the network on our behalf. Okay, I mean a computer, not a person. That computer will announce it to the network that I have been able to solve it. When we get the reward, irrespective of how much effort each one of us spent, the reward is distributed equally amongst all of us. Okay, make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, so that is how it is done in the mining pools. So last time when we saw the blockchain transactions, we saw that a lot of them were solved by mining pools with the name. It was visible. I'll just go back to it and see if any of the recent ones are. So if you see this name, btc.com, F2P pool via BTC,
Last
these
name
are not,
project.
I mean, these look, yeah, these look like these are my pools, right? So people come together in these pools and they share their processing capacity. It becomes one giant distributed effort, and then they are able to solve it. Now you could also become a part of a pool. There are many websites that let you join a pool. You could join as an individual with your, ASIC miner or with your computer or whatever. You join that pool, and they give you specific addresses that you have to add to your particular mining software. So you become part of that pool and you collectively solve that problem. So whatever example that I spoke about simplistically, if you see, it is written the same thing here. If Bitcoin mining requires all hashes starting with 15 zeros, mining pool can ask the hashes starting with 10 zeros, which is million times easier. So collectively you solve smaller problems, and they are joined together and they solve the larger problem that is actually to be solved, right? Now, even with pools, it is not possible that you are able to guarantee that you will be able to solve a problem, because like you have formed a pool, there are several other people also who have formed the pool. So most of the time, someone outside the pool will be able to mine a block first. In that case, the pool operator will send out a message to everyone saying that no, stop solving the previous problem. We've got a new block and start working on it again. So that pool operator does the coordination work between all the people that are here. Now, even in this case, you will be sending a lot of your effort being part of the pool, and you may not get any rewards. But if anyone hits the jackpot, anyone in your pool is able to solve the get the right nonce, then the reward is distributed equally to everyone. So at least in mining, even if you're not able to make big gains, you're still able to recover your basic costs, because if say there are 100 of you, at least one, even if one person is able to solve it, you do get certain amount, uh, rather than if you did it alone, you would not get anything. If you want to do it for fun, curious about mining, there's a site called BTC Guild. You just go ahead to BTC Guild, registered on BTC Guild, and then download CPU Miner, which I showed. In CPU Miner, BTC Guild will give you an address. You just enter that in the CPU Miner, and the software will start mining. On our normal PCs, I mean, mine is a pretty powerful one, but even with my PC, I had no luck. Mine is a i7 quad core 16 GB machine, but I was not able to mine anything till now, and I stopped it long back because it was frustrating. So if you just want to get a feel of it, you can go to BTC Guild and download CPU Miner. CPU Miner works for Windows. Similarly, for Linux also, you've got several applications which you can include. So this particular one, I have taken the screenshot from internet. This person, whoever this person was, he became part of this BTC Guild, right? So you start miner, this CPU Miner application, and give the URL that BTC Guild provided you. You have your user pass keys, so you input that, and the application starts mining. So if you see here, it says your whatever hashes you submitted was accepted. So you got a share here. You got a block mined here. Then he again got a share here. So as part of that pool, even though you don't get the entire reward, but you get something at least, which is better than getting nothing. So that is how the screen the screen looks like if you become part of a mining pool. Yeah, that's it for today. If you got any questions on Bitcoin mining, you can ask now, or if you think you need time to draft your questions, you can send it over email. I will reply during the week itself. Next week, we will begin with Ethereum. So first half would be an introduction to Ethereum, a deep dive into Ethereum, and then we will set up an Ethereum. I'll just go over the course contents. We will set up an Ethereum blockchain. Yeah, sorry. Go on. I am still.
I want to see the next week, basically. So that will be means live you will be doing with us, or again that will be the screenshots going one by one. Because for this today's session, still I think whether I have understood blockchain application or not, still I don't have any answer. Frankly speaking.
Okay.
Basically,
if you want to do it step by step. Sorry?
Is it really so much tough to understand the app? Means to develop a blockchain app, I'm really, I don't know. Because I have gone through one book, it was also saying Merkle tree, hash, everything. Then it was saying, okay, how to create the app. So, but still I'm confused. If I have to develop an app, how will I have to proceed? Do I need to know the Ethereum or blockchain or miner or Bitcoin or whatever there may be?
Depending on
to understand?
Yeah. So, okay, let me put it down in simple way. Okay. If you want to become a miner, okay, just a miner, you don't need to know anything. Yeah. You just buy a machine. install the hardware. Install the hardware with the CPU. Okay, so that you are able to view the hardware there. Just like you would install a graphics card or a USB mouse or a webcam to your computer, that is how you connect it to your machine.
Yeah,
There will be a software. Yeah, there will be a software that would come with it. You install the software, like we had CPU miner here. You would have a software with it. When you open the interface, your software, it will ask you for your wallet address, etc. You input your wallet address. That's it.
Okay.
You are done. You click on run. The application starts running in the background. Okay. It will keep running, generating the hashes, sending the message to the network. If it is rewarded, it will store that in your wallet. So you don't even need to be a computer literate person.
Okay.
You just
So
need to
next
know
is
some basics.
Sunil,
But
as an exercise this week, I'll try to explore the actual content of the blog or transaction, how I can traverse back. Can I have a request with you so that you can also show some slides? Okay, this is the actual transaction. This is the actual block we have created, and this is the way things are going on.
Oh, sure.
Actually,
Okay,
as
we'll
a
do
graph
it.
or diagram, I want to see basically, or I can code
Got
that.
it. So you just want to traverse it. You just want to traverse backwards.
Yeah, traverse
right?
backward, and this should be the
Correct. So I will show that. Probably not in next class, because next class will be taken by Kaka. But whenever I take the next class, I will. I got your point. The same. One of the slides we were seeing that block 9, block 10, block 11, right? So you want to see it on the system how you can traverse. I will show it to you when I take the next class.
Yeah, taking any example, and also in Ethereum, basically, what I am expecting from Kaka to be live. Whatever command he will be giving or prerequisites we can install and we can do in the same way, so that we can explore the things as like Google engine or go for Amazon. But finally, we got a Linux machine and given 4 or 5 commands basically, and after that we were stuck on that machine. Just again, slides were coming on. In the same way, basically, not in the same way. I'm expecting from Kaka to let us understand, okay, this is the EVM, you are logged in on your machine. This is 37 GB installation I can do before this Saturday.
Okay.
So live, basically, I'm not sure what about Saraji and Binay, but this is things I want to be technical, to understand, and at least after 5 weeks, I should be able to make an application. Not after the 5 weeks, at least after the 4 weeks, so that I will have 1 more week to question answers.
We can do it, but I'm not sure how practical that would be, because you can do it in real time, I understand, but there is only so much that we can do it in this 2.5 hours. So we can do it for a couple of things, but we cannot do for
Sunil, that is not the case. I have 15 years of experience. They have also more than 15 years of experience. So just giving some pointers and command, we can execute instantly. It will not take so much time for us to understand.
Correct. So I'm saying few commands, obviously we can do, but we cannot make a full-scale project here. Got your point. If that is the expectation, yes, we can do that. So he will do it and then let you repeat it. You do it on your machine and then you can tell whether you've been able to do it successfully or not. That is your expectation, right?
Yeah, that will be good. Yeah, Binay sir,
okay.
Yeah. I was about to say that. Yeah, Sunil, that's what I was thinking. Because see, theory and reading is something that we can do, and I actually want to get hands-on, so that if somebody wants me to design a blockchain application, I'm not asking like to develop the full end-to-end, but at least I should know the concepts of these are the important things needed. And if you want to draw, like if I have a use case on my own, like Sharadji was telling us about a use case in supply chain. So at least I should be able to think, okay, this is the way to go if we want to implement it. So some pointers basically. It would be very helpful.
Right. And Sunil, what you can do is, like you can send us like if any installation, anything which we need to done, like for this Google Cloud. If we had this info, we could have installed it earlier before coming to the class, so that we could have followed it, right? So if you just send us any information, if you need to install it or do anything on it.
Sure. We will do it midweek, because this was not to be a part of today's session, but because you guys had expressed some concern, I thought I would include it. But for next session, I will let you know if there's any installation required beforehand, so you guys can install it. We will do some commands, live interactively, and then we can take it from there.
Yeah, and Sunil,
that's fine.
one more thing is like this. I know this is kind of very new technology, and what I would also like to see is like we cannot be like you are very flexible in accommodating our request. So I would like you to continue that flexibility because we ourselves are not very sure what exactly we are looking for in the sense like because we are also learning and it is totally new field. We don't get a lot of references. So we should make it little flexible, like you have made it so. Thanks for that. And I'm expecting that to be continued.
Okay. So just one more question, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys looking at any specific, like this course was designed, and initially the course was designed just to give you introduction to everything. But now that we are expecting to deep dive, instead of trying to achieve everything, we can focus on one of the installations. We can focus on
Yeah, Sunil, that was not the expectation. In the first demo itself, it was not as like going introductory sessions. Again, I'm repeating my same statement. I should be able to create a simple app based on blockchain. So what does this mean? I should understand how blockchain works. Means everything it comes. If I can write the hello world and understand how it's getting executed, I can write any bigger program.
So I was coming to the same point before you cut me off. So I was saying instead of trying to deploy everything, we deploy say multi-chain, see real use cases on that, see coding on that, and for rest of stuff the concept remains same. So for that we can instead of doing the same thing on Bitcoin blockchain and Ethereum blockchain and multi-chain, you would not learn anything because we would spend only few hours on each of it. So instead you do theory for 2 and you do practical in a bit more depth for one of it. Does that work? So I will tweak the content that way.
Okay, that will be great.
Yeah, I think that will be good. So I think blockchain probably we can go more deep because that is the technology most of the companies are looking for, and probably the developer and other things they are looking into this technology. So we can go more deep into this blockchain, and this you can cover on the high level about the Ethereum and other things. Right? We don't have to go much deep into that.
Instead, I would say, I mean, it is open to multi-chain is another offering which is picking up big time. You can search for it, and if you want time, you can later let me know. But with multi-chain, I'll be able to show you a lot of real-world applications. Okay, so a file transfer mechanism. There are several apps that I already have on it, so we can go through the code of it, deployment of it, install on the local machine. So you install on your local host, you can run those applications and see it. So if that works out, concept remains same across the blockchain. So
Yeah. I mean, what we will do is, Sunil, I'd like to sync up with Pathak and Sarajit, and then probably we can let you know. That would be better because that's my thinking, and I'll talk to them. I don't have any.
You guys can talk to.
Yeah, and then
we'll ask. You guys can sync up.
Yeah, and then we'll ask Sharad, or one of us will write a mail to you or Ashok, and we can let us know our expectations.
So, Sunil, what is the difference?
I mean, earlier the better because.
Yeah, sure.
What is the difference between Bitcoin and this multi-chain?
Bitcoin, there have been no other
blockchain versus multi-chain.
No, multi-chain is also a blockchain. It is just like you have blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain, Ethereum. It is also another platform.
You mean to say this is as like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud Computing?
Yes.
So, Sunil, I have a question. I mean, if we are done with this for the next session, if we have saved. So, I was going this distributed app.
Uh-huh.
So, what is that? Another one.
DAO.
Decentralized, no, they are distributed versus decentralized app.
Uh-huh.
So is this blockchain is distributed or decentralized app? Because one book it was saying it was decentralized app.
If
Decentralized.
you so if you see the meaning of it, what is distributed and what is decentralized,
Okay.
it is the same thing, right?
No. Not the same. That was the confusion for me. Because in the centralized there is one server. On the decentralized, it was saying there were multiple servers.
Right.
But on the other distributed, saying there is no server.
So everyone is participating in it.
Yeah, as like in BitTorrent, everyone is participating or everyone is node.
Correct.
So as I understood, our blockchain is based on P2P network, as like BitTorrent.
Correct.
So it should be decentralized, distributed. But
for
that
a
was
true
saying
for a true permissionless blockchain. But if it is a permissioned blockchain,
then decentralized. Okay.
Yes.
I think permission would be centralized and permissionless would be decentralized. That's what my understanding was.
So did we say it the other way around?
Oh, sorry, having problem. Yeah, probably. Sorry. So basically, this Bitcoin that was started by the Satoshi, that I believe is permissionless, right? Because we don't need
it is permission. Correct. Anyone can come and join. You can download the software like we did it. You can participate in it.
I see. Yeah, I'll go through more in detail in that. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So Sunil, again, yesterday's question. So under government or any person, on which platform they are developing their application?
I really don't know what Andhra government is doing, but a lot of
Ethereum
banking applications. No, I really don't know their application. But
I mean to say, my question is whether do I learn AWS or Azure or Google App Engine? In the same way, I want to understand whether hypervisor or Ethereum or some other platform.
Okay, so I cannot really answer that is because if you ask me whether I would get more job opportunities studying AWS or Google Cloud, or I really don't have an answer because that depends on the organization that is trying to hire. So same is the case with these platforms also. You go on these job sites and you will see there are specific listings which will say that you need to know Ethereum, Hyperledger. Some organizations will say you need to know only multi-chain. Some organizations who do not understand it, who are just starting on this journey, they don't understand the difference with it. In it, they will say you need to know all of it. It is not possible for any person to know all of it. So you can start with any one of it, okay? And because the concepts remain same, then you can learn. So for example, today you know AWS, it will not be very difficult for you to learn Google Cloud because the concepts, whatever we have, elastic IP, storage, VM instances, etc., remains same across platform. Just the names would be different, a bit of configuration here and there. But if you ask me which one should I learn, I cannot answer that.
Yeah. So Sunil, what I did, I went to the LinkedIn job and I was looking for like what kind of jobs are available and other things. So there are tons of jobs which are available in the blockchain.
Yes.
So that's what I did search. That was the thing that I was thinking that we can do the blockchain. We can go more deep into the blockchain because that is the what
right now, if you ask me, 70 to 80% of these jobs will be able to get the interview by just saying, just mentioning the blockchain on your CV. You will start getting calls, and if you appear for an interview for a couple of them, you will realize the person sitting across the table is absolutely clueless because everyone is doing something in the blockchain. This person also wants to hire someone who has some understanding. They have, I'm not saying that is applicable to everyone, but majority of the cases, because I have attended some interviews myself. And
no. So I understand, Sunil, but I just want to mention we live in the Bay Area, so we cannot say the same thing about the Bay Area. So this is the originator, right? So basically all the technology and everything originates from the San Francisco Bay Area. So I'm talking about the jobs in here. I know that in India the things are still emerging. It takes time and other things, but
Yeah.
we are
So,
we live here.
so the job listings, I mean, you can do a bit of research there itself, or companies that you are targeting to apply. You can see in their job listing which particular platform they want developers in. If it is Ethereum, or if it is multi-chain, or if it is anything else, Hydra, Hyperledger, whatever. Uh, then you can focus on that particular one. So you know the concepts, you know everything around it. Learning that specific installation, that specific platform, I mean, it will be a task for you.
No. I understand, Sunil, what you're saying. I totally get your point. One thing I wanted to generally my understanding when I try to learn anything new is like to start with basics and do something end to end. So how about this? Like we use blockchain as Sharad is pointing out, and we design and develop a very simplistic application, say land record application, where we will do few transactions by designing it from the scratch. Because if you build something scratch end to end, because like when you build a bridge, you do not go and directly build the bridge. You first create a small model. So what we are looking is not to build the bridge in this course, but if you can get us to a model which is like end to end. Like suppose tomorrow after learning this course, somebody asks me that I am hiring you as a blockchain engineer and I have this problem to solve. So I'm not envisioning that I'll solve the problem completely end to end, but at least I will have some building blocks that will help me
So
in order.
over the next 2 weeks, you will
Yeah.
definitely get that.
Okay.
Short
Okay.
answer: over the
Yeah.
next 2 weeks, you
Perfect.
will see certain applications. Now,
Yeah.
again, to put a caveat to it,
Mm-hmm.
like you use the same example, you have to develop a bridge. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to start from mining iron, putting steel rods out of it, because these things are readily available. So the platform
Exactly.
is readily available. We will have the platform. We will code on top of it. That we will do. Yes.
Yeah. What do you say, Sharad and Sunil? I mean, that is my thought.
Yeah,
No, I
that's
agree.
fine. I think
Basically, yeah, basically what we are
so. Let's
looking for.
concentrate on blockchain and
Yeah.
let's do it end to end for the blockchain. Okay.
Perfect. Perfect. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Sure. Okay, leave it.
No, Sunil, if you have any Patak, if you have any point, you can bring it, man. No problem. It's fine, man.
So, what are we going to cover in Ethereum? Hope so by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we'll get that prerequisites. So we'll be ready with that installation, downloads, and other things.
Yes.
Okay. And also one thing, Sunil, while going through this blockchain, I saw Web 3.0 that is close related with this one. Because
Sorry, what?
Web 3.0 means there is W3.js, a JavaScript library, which has inbuilt API call for this blockchain.
Correct.
Web
There are a lot of
3.0,
libraries.
they have API for distributed networks, which we are doing in blockchain. So could we cover 5-10 minutes? Although I will go you and other things, but it will be great if you or Kaka can take 5-10 minutes to describe that.
I will try. So next week, okay, let's see. We will try to cover it in some session, but I cannot say. Let's see how the flow goes, but we will try to cover it.
Okay, and timing also I will ask Sharad and Vinay sir to go for Solidity basics so that it will not take a long time for Kaka to make us understand.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, so other than this Solidity and W3.0 or some JavaScript library, Ethereum Mist we need to understand. What else extra do we need to understand? Ethereum virtual machine and anything else?
Ethereum is entirely based on Solidity.
Okay.
So you are good on that. For other, there would be hundreds of flavors that are available, right? So some use Golang, some use Python, some use JavaScript, some use core Java, some use C, C++. Then there are several other languages. So, it is impossible for anyone to learn of it.
No. Okay, so whatever Kaka will be covering, either Python, PHP, or whatever, or JavaScript.
Yeah.
If we can get in advance, okay, this is the language he is going to use, we will be aware of, we will be ready with that.
Okay.
So that will be great. Hope so. I'll get tomorrow or by day of tomorrow. So that's all. So many questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks all.
Thank you, Sunil, for your patience, man.
No problem.
I
Thanks.
Okay,
appreciate
bye.
it.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks.
all.
Good night, Sunil.
Yeah. So I would request you to stick to the curriculum, because we have made curriculum after a lot of research. And on the fifth weekend, if we feel like that there is something specifically needs to discuss, because this is the first course for you to blockchain, and you all are senior people, so you need to understand the big picture and the implementational details where you can drive the team or you can drive the project. So for that matter, we have created this program which give you the bigger picture. And as you all have a programming background, so you keeping the flag forward, that will not be as tough as compared to any typical managerial guy. So I would request you to hold your horses, and whatever is delta is there, we can always have an additional session even after fifth weekend. So don't worry about that. And we have put a lot of effort in formalizing this curriculum. So as Sunil has stood, because first impression we got from Sridhar was that you people are interested in bigger picture. So we were creating a separate program. Then Sridhar said that we want you people want to go with the existing outline. I hope the outline was shared with you. So if any delta is remaining, we can think of covering it later on as well.
So, Sunil, sorry, Ashok, what happens basically after taking this class?
Yeah.
Now we are in move up to understand the blockchain, go to YouTube and many other Wikipedia or articles.
Yeah.
Same things what we need to understand. As Binay sir told, that we were also not aware of what we are going to learn.
Yeah.
This is the technology we need to understand.
Yeah.
So basically, based on that, we try to explore more and more and where we have to go.
Definitely,
And,
definitely.
As like
if you have
as like basically
if you have witnessed, me or Sridhar is always there in the class. We don't there in any other class whatsoever the class is running, because we are there to help you people. If we have to tweak our curriculum, we will do that. But my message is that we have created this curriculum that after fifth weekend you will have the most of the things that you actually looked for. But it is an evolving technology, and companies don't also know where it will bend. And Sunil was quite right that in the job market, if you go there, because I have few friends who have their startups in blockchain. They roam around the world meeting people. So 90% of the companies are not that confident what actually they are going to do. They are meeting their clients, claiming many things, but it is a highly evolving story. And so if you give us some feedback, we will definitely try to tweak the program or whatever the sequence we have. Even after fifth weekend, if you feel like these are the things we have missed upon, we will try to cover that. That's what my point. I'm not saying that you have to obey what is written there. I'm just saying that we have put a lot of effort in creating this curriculum. And if something needs to be discussed and something some delta is remaining, we can still cover after fifth weekend. We can have a special session for you people only.
So that's great, Ashok. Thanks for your concern.
Yeah.
But I have 2-3 things basically, which I asked myself.
Yeah.
Which first example you gave us that many startups has been built up after giving your training. So I'll be me, I'll ask.
No. Giving our training, we are in touch with them.
Okay.
And whatever people are being trained, we supply them as a resources likewise. So they are there in this since 2-3 years. We have started this training 6 months back. So I'm not saying they are because of us, but I know the pulse of the market, how things are going, how companies are planning to implement this. IBM has come up with the Hyperledger, but it is very costly, and you have to stuck with that portfolio. So there are pluses and minuses in the Hyperledger as well. So I'm saying that you consume this course and give your feedback, and don't worry about what you are getting or what you are not getting. We will, because yesterday nobody said that Sunil should tweak his curriculum, but he himself do this
Okay.
because we are
Yeah.
concerned what you are getting out of this engagement.
Yes, that's correct. No, that's good. So yeah, this type of example, but hope so you are saying it will come in 5th week. So that we are asking, could we make it fast? Because particularly me, I'm looking, okay, this is the direction I have to go. If I am deviating somewhere else, then I want to stuck on the same path. Okay, within next 2 weeks or 1 week, I'll be able to understand. So these are just our concerns. So if I ask myself, frankly speaking, Ashok is asking to Sunil, are you going to recommend someone this course? If answer is for freshers, for 2 years, 3 years persons, answer is yes. Just go and do this course. Yeah. But if answer is for 15 years person, then I'll ask them, okay, hold for 2-3 weeks, then I will let you know. This will be my answer, but not now.
For that matter, me and Sridhar discussed to create a executive program for you people. But Sridhar told me himself that the group is saying that don't go for a customized program. The outline is shared with them. They want to go with the existing program. So we were in process to create an executive program. Then again, it will be more high level. In this program, we are trying to mix high level plus deep dive. But in the time frame we have at our hands.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, Sunil has a lot of knowledge, so we are taking the benefit of that.
Yeah.
And we are asking to take something, and he's also taking that. He is doing good.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you, I will give you a very honest opinion. No training in the world can make you what you want to be after training. But after training, what you do is the real fruit. So,
Exactly.
So post training, we will give you enough platform that you can build upon that. And even after training, if you are stuck somewhere, you mail us. We will help you. It's not like that, because Sridhar has told me it's not just a commercial program. There are some personal stakes also there. So we will help you. Don't worry about that.
Basically, what I'm expecting, Ashok, after 4 or 5 weeks, I should be able, as soon as possible, to recommend many people to go and do this course. So that time I'm waiting for.
Yeah, so as far as the executive download is concerned, so Sunil can give you one session, and you would be smarter enough to boast what your knowledge about blockchain. But this program is giving both best of the. We are trying to give both of the best, both the words. So within the blockchain framework, there are many things. As Sunil was saying, we need to concentrate on one thing. Otherwise, it will become jack of all and master of none. So we need to take a call where we want to get flavors of everything that we have on the plate, on the table, or we want to go in a singular direction and get some substantial, you can say, hands-on learning out of that.
I think so. Mastery of one, that's good, but at the same time, knowing what are the other things on my plate, is also good.
Yeah, it's good, because you are not going to sit there as a coder in any case. You will be driving. Most of you, I think, will be driving the driving the project.
No. We will be driving at the same time. We will be coding. Both of the tasks we have to do here.
Yeah, that's a difference.
So that's what I said. For the coding, what requires, we will give you the platform. But if we create the program, then it will be of 20 weekends or 30 weekends where we exercise everything in the class and nothing left for you to do on your own. That will be very difficult for you to also attend. That's what I was saying. Because whatever is required to try your hand, because whatever accounts is being created here, whatever you have on your machine will be left with you, and it is up to the individual how far you want to take it.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
So for next weekend, if you people have some pointers, so I would request you to mail it tomorrow, and we will try to coordinate those pointers in the coming session. I'm in no way saying that we will stick to what we have proposed. That is not my point. I'm saying that if we work in a coordinated manner, both the parties can be can benefit it in a better way.
Yeah, I will also send Ashok, as like Sunil told that we are going to cover Ethereum.
Yeah.
So I'll be going some prerequisites because I went through the Ethereum book and it was saying that I need to install EVM, download of 37 GB, then Solidity, that is a smart contract language.
Yeah.
So definitely we will not go each by each keyword or syntax of Solidity, but we will definitely go for at least one or two contracts we will cover.
Yeah.
Rest we can do this weekend or after that. So it will save time for Kaka also. It will save time for us too. Because in the 2.5 hours we want to learn more and more.
Yeah, yeah.
So as like needs browser or whatever that is requisite, we will also do YouTube before this Saturday.
Yeah.
So we will be more aware of about before coming to Kaka.
Sure.
So this thing I will also send to you, and I hope so from your side also by tomorrow or day after tomorrow I will get what are the prerequisites to read, to learn on YouTube if required, and to install or download anything so that we can be doing and clearing our doubts.
I would request you to not follow YouTube, because in YouTube many people are there to create their own brand name. They are not there to help anybody in a very good faith. So if you are lucky, you can get something that is good for you. Otherwise, everybody has their agenda and they just go on surface. They don't go deep inside. So it will confuse you more rather than getting something substantial. Yeah. Because YouTubers, they want more clicks, more views, so they will claim something, they will create some sensation, and they the people will react to that what they are saying.
Yeah, right, that's right.
So they will predict more than what they are supposed to do. They will say blockchain do this, do that. So I'll tell you, machine learning being such a mature technology, 90% of the companies are in a POC mode. 90%. Because it is a decades-old technology. It's not a new technology. All the algorithms are there in the 80s as well. But now we have the processing power and everything at our hands. We can execute those technology, those algorithms. Then also all the companies are in POCs mode. You just exceptions are like Facebook, Google, all the big guns as Amazon. They are actually doing it. But if you talk about any commercial company, they have implemented on a very small scale and they are still doing POCs. You can understand how much time blockchain is going to take when it becomes a you can say mainstream and implemented in their production you can say production space.
Okay, means basically I was relating this blockchain with machine learning or cloud computing. As like in cloud computing, you will think client server application, that is the basic. If someone understands client server application, he can understand Azure or cloud computing. Then if someone can learn Azure, then AWS and Google App Engine or many others are same. In the same way, machine learning, if we'll go for the algo, there are 35, 36 algos. But based on that, there are already Python libraries which we need to use. In the same way, blockchain, I'm not nowhere to understand whether
that is because it is not as easy. That is because it is not that easily available as of now. Because this being a technology that only got hyped up last year, there's not a lot of free libraries or not of free documentation that is available in the market. Okay, I'll tell you from I work in the banking sector. I know a lot of people. I meet with a lot of people. Being a B, I meet with a lot of fintechs and providers like Oracle and Zafin and these guys, right? Each one of them, if you ask them, they will say, yes, we've got something in the blockchain. If you ask for a demo, it will be a very high level product, mostly something like a voting mechanism, etc., that they have built. Everyone that you go in the banking sector, they will say we have done a POC. Either it will be a trade life cycle or something on the payments side or in voting, because these are the cases that are readily available on the internet. So people just download it. They will set up on their local environment, try to send a message, get a response from the blockchain, and they will say we have done a POC. Other than that, you will not see a real use case barring a few companies. I'm not saying everyone is doing the same thing. A few companies are really doing that. Other than that, no one has any clue how to really use this technology. But because everyone else is doing it, they want to not want to be left behind. That is the only POC that they are doing. Otherwise, most organizations have no clue currently how they are going to use blockchain really in their environment.
Exactly,
So
and that is
even
also a question for me. Everyone is moving, but why and how? Why and how? I don't have the answer. I
so
understand the
that
blockchain.
is
So Sunil,
Yeah.
if you allow me, I'll tell you, because the main attraction towards blockchain is the security is ensured, and the cost of security is increasing every day for BFSI domain or for any domain, for the sake of even for healthcare. So if you follow the news flow, Bank of Japan has said that they are ready to invest heavily in the blockchain. Because why they are saying they are invest? Because the framework we have right now is not fit for any real time use case. If you try to run credit card system or anything, blockchain is like a binary. There is you can say the transaction successful or not successful. But in real world application, you have hundreds of fields
current.
that you need to
Yes,
update, and that because to make it a replacement of DBMS, it will take a lot of effort.
currently it cannot happen. I
Yeah,
totally agree with Ashok.
currently it is not able to cater to that requirement. Suppose if you
The transaction speeds, the bandwidth, etc. Current in the current form, blockchain cannot support it. That
no,
is why there is no real use case or no real software that has been released. Otherwise, I mean, this being such a powerful technology, there are so many companies who release softwares on a day-to-day basis. They would have released a real software,
yeah,
but there are constraints, like we saw in the first session. Confirming a transaction takes 10 minutes. To be 100% sure that this will not be invalidated, you have to wait for 60 minutes. Can you expect Visa or MasterCard to do that? You cannot expect. So for this technology to mature and reach that level, it will obviously take a lot of time to come at that level.
so
And it might happen that before we reach that level, this technology is replaced by something else. So
so
even that is possible.
yeah, so what people companies are trying to do, they are trying to tailor their use case for blockchain. So it is
Correct.
a special case for the blockchain. They are trying to find which use case will be suitable for blockchain, where you have authentication, where you have a binary you can say flag, where you want to authenticate. Even in banking, in government applications, what they are like for the land records, they are using it for the sake of having data that is non-corruptible or non-editable from any vested interest party. But if you think like that, for retail application, blockchain can support all the things that is being done on DVMS. It cannot. That's why there is huge investment coming in the blockchain, and it will evolve every day. If you follow the white papers written on blockchain or whatever the submission is being done from all over the world, everybody is confident this will be a game changer, but it requires a lot of improvement, lot of investment to make it work. The first step has taken up by IBM, but being a commercial organization, they have put a very high price tag on that. So not everybody is convinced whether we go with them, it will become another you can say another cash cow for IBM, rather than we are getting benefited out of that. So that is the paradox that we are witnessing.
I got it. So just one minor request, Ashok.
Yeah.
So you told us many companies are creating apps based on blockchain.
Yeah.
So without coding, without doing anything on the computer, can we see on the board, okay, this was the use case,
Yeah.
and then slowly it was transformed in this way to implement in the blockchain?
Yeah.
Because now we understand the blockchain. So this thing, could you someone explain? It will take 5-10 minutes or 15 minutes. Use case with data, with the tables, with the diagrams, that will be enough on the board only.
So I think Sunil can add to that.
So Ashok, like I said, we will have a couple of applications that we will show on multi-chain. We have that in the coming sessions.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah, so
Great.
just hold your
I'm very
curiosity.
patient. Yeah.
No, sometimes we are very eager. I know, and Sunil, you have been
I
very
know.
patient. Thanks, man.
I will tell you,
Because
even in the first session that I did in my organization, there was a guy who would, keep asking me question, and the only response I had for him was, "It is on the next slide. It is on the next slide." So at one point, I had to tell him that, I will send you the copy on email right now. You stay one slide ahead of me instead of asking the question each time.
no, see, what is the thing, Sunil, is like in our case, frankly, we don't get a lot of time to invest, right? We have a lot of other commitments, so we get only few hours, so that we want to utilize in best and in a proper way, which helps in our career growth. So everybody is short on time. That's why we are looking for your expert advice, Ashok's expert advice to guide us in a proper direction. So if you feel sometime that no, this is not the right direction, then you can say that okay, you can go ahead on this, but it cannot be our suggestion. We are looking for your expert advice to steer us in the right direction because
So
frankly, we are.
I agree. I totally agree with it, and that is why I've been saying
Hmm,
there will be sessions which will have
hmm,
practicals
hmm, hmm.
where we will show you real use cases.
Okay.
But the course was designed in a specific flow wherein we get the basics of everything in the initial phase. Then in one of the weeks we do the practicals considering one of the platforms. But because you guys made some requests yesterday, I had to change it on runtime. But
Okay.
like Ashok also rightly said, if we keep changing it for each of the weeks, then it becomes very difficult to track what we have covered and whether we are delivering what we promised.
Okay. No, makes sense. So what we will do is at our end also we'll do some homework and we will be like me, Sunil and Sharad will try to come on the same page and then let you know so
Yeah,
then we can design. But I
definitely.
would suggest
Okay.
like keep little flexibility so that we can.
I am being as flexible
Yeah,
as I
yeah,
can.
Yeah, no, no, yeah, yeah. That's why I wanted to thank you for that. I told you earlier as well, right?
yeah.
You have been very
Flexibility is
flexible.
there without saying. So that is
Yeah.
a bottom line for us.
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah. I told you in the beginning itself that Sunil has been very flexible. Thank
yeah.
you, man. Okay. I'm done, man. I don't have any other points.
Okay, guys. Thanks for your
Thank
time.
you.
Okay, so then
Okay,
we can
Thank
good
you.
close the
night.
call. Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.
You
Bye.
have
Thanks.
enjoyed it.
Bye.
Thanks, Sunil. Bye.
Yeah, okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.